Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto was sent to the Halo universe. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by AlbionSkunk and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Prologue. Pain, anger, resentment, sorrow. Emotions that ran through this bloody child as he ran through the streets of this village, crying as he ran for his life. Why? He screamed, clutching his left arm as blood poured out. His blonde hair covered with blood, his sky blue eyes filled with terror. At the demon. Today we finish what our beloved fourth started. The cries and roars of the people soared through the streets as they held makeshift weapons, cleavers, and torches. Some shinobi as well joined in. The boy ran and ran as he made for the village gate, not looking back at the mob that was out for his life. Do not let the demon escape. The boy managed to run past the gate, but the mob did not stop, they continued on, intent on killing him. So he kept running, even when his legs wanted to give out. He ran and ran and ran, until he reached a cliff, his running had come to end. He clutched his left arm as he stepped back towards the edge of the cliff. The faces of the people glaring at him were filled with hate and anger. The shinobi within the mob grabbed their kunes and threw them at the boy. The boy tried to dodge them, but to no avail, as one blade struck his chest, sending him down to the ravine below. We have killed the demon. We are heroes. The people roared with joy for murdering an innocent child. Humans, such a cruel race they are. As the child fell, he wondered if he could finally meet the parents he had always wanted to know. Did they love him? Did they want him? Did they? His body struck the water, blood flowing as he is carried by the current of the river. He began to lose consciousness as he struggled to stay awake. The water carries him further, deep into the river, until a hand grabs him. It showed a man of at least 10 feet tall with strange gray armor, orange light glowing on the trims, and metallic plates that seemed to float above his shoulders. You look human, yet you are not. The deep voice of the man calls out. He picks up the boy and carries him through some kind of green light, disappearing from the face of the planet. The man places the boy on a table, guarding light. I am in need of your services. The man called out once again. A spherical object with a bright blue light entered the room. Didact, may I ask why is there a human child aboard this ship? He may look it, but he is no human. Scan him, and you will see why he is not. The spherical object known as guarding light did so. The sphere gasped. By the creators, what is he? I do not know, but we must tend to the child's wounds, he is dying. Didact said as he felt the child's breathing becoming less frequent. At once Didact. Guarding light made a nodding gesture as machines and floating objects neared the child. Light shimmered upon the boy's exposed skin, closing their wounds. The entity residing within seems to be helping with the healing process. Fascinating, he has the body of a human, yet he is different entirely. What do you plan on doing with him, Didact? Surely you brought him aboard for a reason. Yes, this child has power I have not seen in over 1,000 millennia. He will become my legacy, my greatest creation. Didact declared. Guarding light paused for a second before continuing with his work. I see, true that he has power, but is it wise to entrust him with even more power? Didact nodded. I along with our warrior servants and Prometheans may be the last of our kind guarding light. I wish to leave him with our legacy. I will teach the ways of combat. While you will teach more subtle education. I have seen what the humans had done to him, to think their cruelty stretches to that of children. What this boy will do with that power is up to him. As long as our legacy lives on, I care not what he does with this world. The sphere nods, understood, Didact. The Didact's helmet opened, revealing humanoid-looking man, but with a face of that of an alien. This boy will become the greatest Promethean. Even greater than that fooler Didact. The boy wakes up on a soft bed, wearing clean white clothes. Ah, you are awake. A voice calls out to his side. Hello little one, I am guarding light. I was responsible for tending to your wounds. The child was shivering. The floating object in front of him scared him a bit. No need to be afraid, child. I will not hurt you. You are safe, far away from those cruel humans that made an attempt on your life. Now come, my creator who saved your life wishes to speak with you. He could only nod and follow the floating ball of light, passing through the beautiful hallways. He gasped as he looked out the window. He could see the world below. Ah yes, you are aboard a ship that travels through the stars. Now come little one, my creator awaits. They went past the last hallway. The boy walked into a room where there was a seat with multiple controls and holographic screens positioned in the center of the room, overlooking a window. This was the ship's bridge. Ah, you are awake. The man seated on the chair turned to him, revealing his humanoid-looking face. He had a few hairs protruding from the back of his head. His face was not that of a human. Hello young one, I am Bornsteller makes eternal lasting, or you can simply call me Didact. I am a Promethean of the once proud Forerunner race. Forerunner? The boy softly spoke, still quite scared at the non-human he was looking at. No need to be fear, child. Didact smiled softly, you are here for a purpose. You are to be the greatest Promethean this age will ever know, and I wish to guide you, to teach you, to nurture you. In a way, I will become your father. A father? He muttered, tears flowing from his eyes. Didact lifted himself from his seat and knelt down in front of the boy and gave him a gentle hug. He may be a forerunner, but all sentient beings are never exempt from emotions and feelings. Yes, my son, you will become my legacy. Now what is your name? Naruto Uzumaki. He spoke softly. Didact smiled, Naruto, in your tongue it means maelstrom, yes that will be your forerunner name, Fury of Eternal Maelstrom, signifying your new life as my son. End prologue. 13 years later. The land of demons. The young man around 6 feet in height walked through a snowy city wearing a cloak. Inside the cloak was armor his father had created for him, it was the armor a Didact would wear into battle. He approached the city's palace as guards approached. Halt. State your business. I have come here at the request of your daimyo. He pulled out a scroll and gave it to the guards. The guard who took the scroll read it, he then nodded, you may go through, he has been expecting you. The man went through the gate and went up the large stairs that led him to the palace entrance. The doors opened revealing a beautifully built structure, bright and elegant. The cloaked man walked through hall, approaching a woman sitting on a throne. Ah Naruto, it is good to see you once more. My daughter has missed you greatly. Lady Aju. Naruto bowed, in the 13 years he had spent with his new father, he had learned a many great deal from him and guarding light. He learned the ways of war from his father and other forms of education from guarding light. He had grown tremendously over the years, he became a master tactician, a warrior, a Promethean. He would soon become a Didact as well like his father, he became a brilliant commander thanks to the knowledge his father passed down to him. Commanding a contingent of Promethean knights, his personal guard. How is Shion? He asked, removing his cloak and revealing the grey armor much like his father's with its floating shoulder guards. Many of the servants and guards who had never seen him and his armor gasped at the beauty of the armor, like an angel from heaven had come down to visit them. She misses you a great deal, refusing to meet other suitors. I must thank you once again for defeating the demon. Think nothing of it, your highness, I only did what I thought was right. During his time in the city, he helped stop a demon going rampant, the city would have been lost were it not for Naruto defeating it. Because of his actions, he saved a great many lives that day. The priestess laughed, you are too modest sometimes Naruto, are you sure you do not wish to take your father's name, the Namikaze? Naruto nodded, I am sure your highness, I do not wish to take it yet as it will bring unneeded attention, for now I will keep it a secret. Wise words young Naruto, but enough of this, Shion has been awaiting your return for quite some time now. Naruto bowed and proceeded to walk to the palace gardens. There seated on a bench was a beautiful young woman at the age of 17. She had beautiful blonde hair and purple eyes that shined like a gemstone. She was next in line to become the next priestess of the land of demons. He met her 5 years ago during his travels around the country, she was coming back from a trip when the carriage she was in was under attack by bandits, and luckily he was nearby. Moving in to help them, he pulled out his pistol and fired a few shots at the bandits, getting their attention. The bandits foolishly charged to attack him, angry that they ruined their fun on planning to ravage the blonde girl. He activated his energy blades and slashed at them, because he was a Promethean, he had telekinesis, lifting one of the bandits and choking him to death, the rest was a blur, as the bandits were ripped to pieces. Unfortunately Shion's guards were all killed in the attack as they were caught off guard. Naruto in turn offered to escort her back to her home, she graciously accepted as she couldn't keep her eyes off the blonde, his beautiful face, his mesmerizing blue eyes, his sun-kissed blonde hair that shines when the sun touches it. What caught her eye as well was the strange but beautifully designed armor he was wearing, it was grey, but glowing blue energy shining within the armor's trims, and the weapons he carried, that seemed to stick to his back and sides when not in use. What astonished her were the shoulder guards that floated above his shoulders. All in all, he was her knight in shining armor that came and rescued her. Over the 5 years, they had been seeing each other, going out a few times, the Didact was amused with their relationship and courtship, and approved of it, the girl had strange powers of foresight. They grew closer as they spent more time together until they had their first kiss in this very same garden. And now it had been 6 months since they had seen each other and he was back to see her once more. Shion, he softly called out to her. Naruto-kun. Shion jumped from the bench and fell into his embrace, passionately kissing him. I missed you. And I you my love. Will you be staying long this time? Shion asked him with a pleading look. Yes, I have come to like this country and its people, but mostly because of a certain special someone. Naruto said, kissing her once more. Fury of Eternal Maelstrom, to think that there are beings from other worlds. Shion's bloodline granted her the ability of seeing multiple futures, or basically different outcomes of a future. One of them was a vision of beings from another planet with technology and power that rivaled that of the demons of their world. She was the only one who knew Naruto's forerunner name because of those visions. There are more than that, Shion. He said while cupping her face, and I cannot wait for you to see it all. And I cannot wait to see it, Naruto. Are you sure you will be coming back to Konoha for the Chunin exams? She said with worry. She was aware of the history he has had with them and the pain he endured. She did not like the idea of him walking the streets of that village again. I will, but not as their shinobi, but as a shinobi of the land of demons. As your shinobi. He took her hand and kissed it, smiling at his lover, savoring the scent of her hand. I love you, Shion. I love you, Naruto. She said, leading him to her room, her eyes gazing at him lovingly. Stay with me tonight. As you wish. Story start. Morning had come in the snowy city of the land of demons. The country got its namesake for imprisoning a demon at the center of the country. It then somehow escaped, but thanks to Naruto it was forever defeated thanks to his powers. A demon was no match for a Promethean who is also a demon container. On the bed with his combat skin lying on a table, a beautiful blonde young woman snuggled onto his chest. Their naked forms covered only by the sheets of the bed, sleeping peacefully. Despite the cold climate, the people were used to it. The sun's light revealed itself into the room, passing over Naruto's and Shion's faces. They fluttered their eyes and slowly opened. The first thing they saw was each other. Naruto with his hand on her shoulder caressed it. Shion moved a bit up and kissed him on the lips. Good morning. She finally spoke. Naruto returned the kiss. Good morning, my princess. I wouldn't mind waking up to this every morning. The blonde princess giggled but then tilted her head in confusion. What do you mean? I mean, living here with you. Shion's eyes slowly widened, meaning, you're staying here? Naruto nodded with a smile, caressing her beautiful face. She put on a smile and embraced him. After all these years he finally decided to stay here, with her. Lady Aju, Shion's mother, wasn't surprised to say the least. She knew he would decide to live here eventually. After all, she was the one who offered him a place here. So you have finally made your decision to stay. Yes, there is no other place I would rather be. Naruto smiled, his arms around Shion's hips as she lay her head on his shoulder. Well, at least with you here, you can scare off those annoying suitors always vying for her hand in marriage. Lady Aju jokingly said. Suitors? Naruto turned to Shion, you never told me about the suitors. They weren't important. Shion argued, besides I have you now. Naruto grumbled, you should have at least told me, I could have dealt with them. No, you are not killing them. It would look bad on all of us. Shion chastised her lover. Very well. He sighed in defeat. Now then, you two lovebirds, shall we go have some breakfast? The food is ready. Shion's mother asked them, at which they both nodded and followed her to the dining hall. 1 month later. A month had passed since Naruto decided to stay and live in the land of demons. The people were floored at the sight of the Furies' Ascent. A massive starship of epic proportions descended from the sky and stopped right over the mountains. The ship was over 142.7 kilometers long, 138.6 kilometers wide, and 371.4 kilometers high. It was one of the 3 remaining ships of its class. The other 2 belonging to the Didact and Didact. Naruto's father, the Didact, had named him Novi Didact and gave him the Furies' Ascent as a gift. Naruto was saddened that he had to leave and explore the stars, but was also happy that he had been given charge of his own ship. The many Promethean knights at his command were also at the service of Demon Country, since they swore allegiance to it. Lady Aju had been shocked to say the least, never in her mind would she such a sight. Flashback. 1 week after Naruto decided to stay. Lady Aju. A guard called out from the door, Lady Aju, something is coming out of the sky. What? Lady Aju and her daughter said in unison. They were just casually talking on the balcony. The guard pointed up, and what they saw was a sight to behold. A large metallic object came down from the sky. It was like nothing they had ever seen. The people down at the village just looked up and thought a deity had come. The massive object just stopped and hovered over the mountains. Naruto flashed into existence behind the 2 women. Naruto. Are you seeing this? Shion said with her eyes widening, waving her hands and pointing at the large object in the distance. The Novi Didact just laughed, no need to panic, Shion, it's just my ship. Eh? The 2 women turned to him with a dumbfounded look. What do you mean your ship? Shion asked, she was now confused. The Furies' Ascent, a forerunner dreadnought created over 100,000 years ago by my father. He gave it to me as a gift before he left to explore the stars. Before he continued, a spherical object appeared before them. It had a bright blue light at its center. I would like to introduce to you all to 097 Guarding Light. Greetings, as the young master has said, I am 097 Guarding Light. I am both a wartime and a lifeworker Ancilla. A lifeworker? Ancilla. Lady Aju stuttered, she was still shocked by this whole ordeal. An Ancilla is what you people call an artificial intelligence. We are artificially created sentient beings. And a lifeworker is someone who specializes in medicine and study of life in all its forms. The Ancilla explained. This is so amazing. Shion breathed heavily as she looked at the Fury's Ascent and then back to guarding light. So that ship is over 100,000 years old. Yes. The Ancilla nodded, I too am also 100,000 years old, in a way I have helped raise the young master here and helped shape him into what he is today. While his father taught him the ways of combat as a Promethean, I taught him in the ways of a lifeworker in academics. The two women were shocked beyond belief, in front of them was an ancient being, someone far older than the Sage of Six Paths. Why are you here? Yaju asked. The young master has told us that we can call this place our home. The young master had been named Novi Didact of the Promethean forces inside the Fury's Ascent. In short, he is their commander. If you would permit, we would like to call the land of demons our home as well and swear to protect it. The Ancilla explained to them. Yaju was speechless, a contingent of a highly advanced ancient race swearing allegiance to her country. She was in a dream, she must be. She slapped her face, trying to wake herself up. Naruto chuckled, Lady Yaju, I can assure you this is no dream. The high priestess started mumbling in gibberish, Shion was rendered speechless. Once again her lover had done the unexpected. He truly was an unpredictable man. Then flashback. Shion was looking into the distance, gazing at the magnificent ship that is the Fury's Ascent. Naruto walked behind her and placed his arms around her by the waist. Magnificent, isn't it? The princess sighed in awe, it is, I don't think I'll ever get used to seeing something like that. An ancient ship with advanced technology this world has never seen. And it's yours. Ours. What? Shion, in the 5 years I have known you, I have grown closer to you, I have grown to love you more and more as time passed by. You filled the void in my heart, something that I have longed for. You have become my love and my life. He dropped to one knee, opening a small box, revealing a ring of Forerunner design. The ring was white, a light illuminating on the top. Shion gasped, bringing her hands to her mouth, eyes watering, but showing joy. Princess Shion of the land of demons, will you be my wife? Shion breathed hard and then. Yes, I will marry you. The entire city celebrated. The hero of the land of demons betrothed to their princess. From simple cheers to a festival, the city was alive. Music, dancing, and food were everywhere. Inside the main hall, tables were put out for the guests as they enjoyed their food. The many suitors who tried to get Shion's hand in marriage were present as well, they were all jealous that he of all people was chosen to marry her. But how could they match him? He defeated a demon, his prowess in combat was unmatched. And he had the command of the most powerful army in all the elemental nations. Although only the country itself knew of their existence. Thanks to advanced Forerunner technology, the Fury's Ascent can cloak and render itself invisible to the naked eye. Then again, Demon Country barely gets any visitors to begin with. As to the rest of the world, they weren't that special. Naruto had been preparing himself for the Chunin exams that would be held in that accursed village he once called home, Konoha. He was already the Novi Didact, commander of all Promethean forces in the land of demons, and to extension the entire star system, so there was really no need for him to participate in these exams. But he wanted to show them, he wanted to make them see how powerful he was. He wanted to see the regret in their eyes, the guilt. But most of all, he had questions he needed answered from the old man himself, the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, for lying to him about his parents. He knew his father was dead, but as for his mother, he did not know whether she was alive or not. So he needed answers, and he will force it out of him if he has to. Right now he sighed in content with his wife to be as they ate their food. Another thing Naruto never expected was his status as a Jinchuruki. The people praised him that such a man could hold the most powerful Biju back. The country's seal masters were amazed by such a complex seal being used, especially the female seal users who were eyeing his abs. Where the seal was located, Shion got irritated, and many of the female students of the seal masters received a beating from the princess for trying to feel him up, claiming they were examining the seal. After the dinner, the soon-to-be-wed were on the balcony looking into the distance, where the Fury's Ascent was currently hovering above the icy mountains. So a new chapter of our lives begins. Naruto said. Do you have to be so formal sometimes when you speak? Shion giggled. It's how I was taught to speak by my father. I like it, makes you unique, one of a kind. Shion snuggled onto his chest, he wasn't wearing his combat skin at the moment. I love you. And I love you. Shion frowned a bit, tomorrow you go to Konoha, do you have to? Yes. Naruto nodded, I have questions that need to be answered, and the only place I know that can be answered is within that accursed village. I do not even know if my mother is alive. Uzashigakure has gone dark, I know my clan is there and alive, but they refuse to allow visitors in. And I know that they will be sending their genin teams, that is why I need to go there. I have to know if my mother is alive or not. Once the finals begin you can come and watch if you like, feel free to stay in the Fury's Ascent, it is your ship as much as it is mine. MMM. Shion hummed into his chest. I really hope your mother is alive, I want to meet her. I do too. Story start. Higher country. Outside the village of Konoha. A bright blue flash of light appeared in a clearing on a road. Stood there after the flash was a hooded man wearing a large grey cloak. He walked for a few more minutes and spotted the village gates, seeing other shinobi teams from other villages as well, he walked forward. Hall, state your business. The two village gate guards told him. I am here for the Chunin exams, I am from Demon Country. The words that came out of his mouth brought chills down the two gate guard spines. Alright, just register here for the exams, and you may go in. The one with a bandage on his face stuttered and handed him a clipboard. The hooded man signed his name and went through without saying another word. Fury of Eternal Maelstrom was what he wrote on the registration paper. The two gate guards looked at the name strangely but decided not to think too much about it, just seeing that man was creepy enough. The man gazed at the Hokage tower, not for another day until the exams begin, I still have time. Hiruzen Sarutobi was sitting on his desk, he stamped a few papers for the exam, but sighed in the end. Oh Minato, you would be so disappointed with this village. Kushina wherever you are, forgive me. Why so down old man? A voice came from the shadows. Who is there? Hiruzen stood from his chair and scanned the room. A hooded man walked in, pulling it down, revealing familiar blonde hair and blue eyes. Minato. Hiruzen was about to have a heart attack, like he was seeing a ghost. The man chuckled, please, I am not my late father Jiji. Naruto he breathed a sigh of great relief, you're alive. He quickly approached him. But was stopped when Naruto raised a hand for him to stop where he was. He then realized something, wait how did you know that Minato was your father? I put two and two together. But that is not why I am here, I have questions, and you will answer them. Now first, you lied to me about my parents why? Naruto's voice was deep, enough for any sane to break out in cold sweat. Hiruzen gulped, I did it for your protection, they had enemies, many enemies. If no one knew who your parents were, you would be safe from their assassins. The walls and floor began to crack under pressure from Naruto's powers, he growled, and I was safe within Konoha. Did you not remember I nearly died the day I turned 5, thanks to those damned villagers I fell off a cliff. Now tell me, what of my mother is she alive, and if she is where is she? A third Hokage flinched, honestly he did not want to tell him, a part of him thinks he is still an asset to this village because of the Kyuubi. Kushina fled after she was told both Minato and Naruto died. Fleeing to Uzashigakure with Naruto's twin sister, where she still had family left. I don't know. He hesitated on that last part. What he got next was Naruto using his telekinetic powers and holding up on the, slowly choking him. Liar he said with his voice sounding demonic, his eyes going red with slits. You will tell me old man, or there will be consequences. If you will not tell me, not only will this village suffer, but your family as well. You wouldn't the old man's voice going hoarse from the chokehold. Are you so sure? I have complete control of all 9 tails of the fox. Do not underestimate me, I am more than willing to finish what the Kyuubi started if I don't get what I want. Now. Tell. Me. Red chakra began to seep out into the room from the Didact's body, whisker marks began to appear on each cheek. Uzashigakure, she fled to Uzashio with your twin sister. They will be coming here soon for the Chunin exams. They should be here now he was then interrupted, such impeccable timing. Through the door 2 red heads with 3 genin. Kushina. Sarutobi, what is going Naruto? Kushina could not believe her eyes, in front of her was her supposedly dead son, there was no mistaking those whisker marks. But something was wrong, the red chakra within him was seeping out. The Kyuubi's chakra. The seal is. Worry not about the seal. Naruto said, the chakra going back in, his eyes going back to normal and the whisker marks disappearing. I have complete control of him. How, they said you died. Kushina said. They said the same thing to me about you. Naruto glared at the old man who was on the floor gasping for air. Kushina glared at him as well. What is the meaning of this Sarutobi? Kushina growled. We needed the power of the Kyuubi, we were still recovering from the attack he was then picked up by the throat again, this time by Naruto's own hands. Kushina was shocked by his strength at how easily he was holding the man up high. So I was nothing but a weapon to you? The Didact growled, give me one reason why I should not destroy this village with my own hands. Give me one reason why I should not unleash the powers of the demon and finish what it started. The younger redhead was at a loss for words, here was her older twin brother leaking out so much killing intent she was having a hard time to breathe. Naruto calm down please. I know you are angry, but is not the way to go. Kushina pleaded with her son. He let go of the old man and dropped him on the floor, coughing and gasping for much needed air. Konoha had created a monster. Be grateful old man that my mother arrived at such impeccable timing and granted you mercy, for I have none. He walked out of the door, Kushina glared once more at the old Hokage and followed her son, her daughter and Genins following suit. Out in the hallway, the Didact stopped, Naruto. Kushina's voice was trembling, her hand slowly reaching for him, she gasped when she suddenly caught in an embrace by her son, hearing his sobs. For so long I have wanted to meet you, Tebeo. He sobbed on her shoulder, it was rare for him to show any vulnerable emotion such as this, but this was an exception. I'm here my baby boy. Kushina began to tear up as well, you even inherited my verbal tic. I thought I outgrew that. He replied with a slight chuckle through his sobbing. They broke the hug and Kushina looked at him. Look at you look so much like your father. You have no idea how many times I have been mistaken for him. Kushina laughed at those words. Naruto then looked at the younger redhead, his twin. She was an exact copy of Kushina. And this is my sister? Kushina nodded, Akane, meet your older twin, Naruto. Ani-chan. Naruto nodded, yes Minato. Akane immediately grabbed in a tight hug. They said you died when we were born. I am not dead, it takes more to kill in Uzumaki. Naruto chuckled, stroking his sister's hair. Kushina chuckled, that's right, we Uzumakas are resilient after all. We are still going to rent a hotel room. Would you like to join us? I have a better idea. All of you, grab my hand. They were all confused but did as they were told, they then disappeared in a flash of blue light. Kushina opened her eyes and what she saw made her drop her jaws. Out the window she can see that they were high above the clouds. Where are we? Ah young master welcome back. Oh and you brought guests, I shall inform the young mistress. The spherical object with a blue light at the center came in. Akane was gazing at the floating ball of light. Ani-chan what was that? That is an ancilla, his name is Guarding Light. And to answer your question mother, you are all aboard my ship, the Fury's Ascent. Your ship, a flying ship. Kushina stammered, she looked out the window once more, the view was breathtaking. She heard the door behind her hiss and walked in was a beautiful blonde woman in a green kimono, she had purple eyes that shined like a gemstone. Oh hello, my name is Shion, Naruto's fiancé. She bowed to them in a formal manner. Fiancé. Kushina stuttered, Akane was speaking gibberish, opening and closing her mouth like a fish out of water, while the Genin team was still looking out the window, ignoring the rest. Yes mother, Shion I would like you to meet Kushina Uzumaki, my mother. Naruto laughed, come I will explain everything as we eat dinner. The sentinels in the ship's dining hall placed down plates of food for them. Naruto explained what happened to him for the past 18 years, how he was chased out of the village, the Forerunners, to meeting Shion, and then finally gaining command and ownership of the Fury's Ascent. So that's everything. You know I fell in love with your father when he saved me from when I got kidnapped. Shion blushed, look she too had a hero complex. Oh don't be so embarrassed Shion-chan. It's perfectly normal to fall in love with your hero. Kushina chuckled, then looked around the room, still, it's hard to believe there was an ancient civilization that had such advanced technology. It is at first, but the mystery I want to solve is who is the Sage of Six Paths. Was he a forerunner or an ancient human from the old empire? Naruto said as he took a bite from his curry. There are so many variables and theories, that is why my adoptive father left for his journey to Charam Hacker, to solve the mystery how humans on this world gained the abilities of chakra. I still want to thank him for raising you. Kushina said. He is not the only one who raised me, he may have raised me and taught me the ways of war, but it was Guarding Light over here who really helped me grow as a person. In a way he was more of a father to me than anyone. The Didact patted the ancilla. Please, if I could blush I would, I am not used to such praise. The ancilla replied. Thank you Guarding Light Kushina spoke up. The ancilla nodded, it was my pleasure Lady Kushina, he is truly a remarkable man. Now will you still be attending the exams master? I will, I have a feeling that something big will happen during the exams and I want to be there. Besides my family will be there as well. Kushina smiled at that. Ani-chan, where did you get the super cool armor? Akane asked while eating her ramen. Naruto chuckled at her bluntness, we call this combat skin, it was widely used by the Forerunners 100,000 years ago. This particular armor is worn by the Didacts of the Forerunner military. Didacts? Kushina tilted her head in confusion. They are the equivalent to a commander of an army. As you can see I command the Sentinels and the Prometheans inside this ship. Naruto explained. A burst of pride came up within Kushina, her son a commander of a powerful army. Minato you would be so proud. Story start. The written exam was pathetic, a Forerunner child could answer these all easily, honestly he could not blame these people, standards for Konoha shinobi had drastically dropped ever since the death of his father at the hands of the Kyuubi. All the genin along with Naruto stood there together looking at the man giving them the first part of the test. When he removed his toque revealing his scars, Naruto could not help but frown at the brutality and cruelty the people of this world are capable of. They simply passed because they decided to stay instead of backing out. That was a sign of faith and courage for these genin. And then something unexpected happened. Introducing the sexy and single Anko Mitarashi. What in the ancestor's name was that? He thought to himself, looking at the pathetic side of an entrance. The woman had purple hair, wearing wire mesh armor, a sort of skirt and trench coat. He hid behind a chuckle under his cloak. Alright kids. Welcome to Training Ground 44. Also known as the Forest of Death. Anko announced. Many of the young genin grimaced at the name of the forest. Naruto stayed neutral about the whole thing. Honestly, the forest itself was beautiful. To think that such beauty held such dangers. Alright kids, I want you all to sign these waivers. The waivers were just agreements that killing is permitted in this part of the exam. Another barbaric thing, letting children kill children, the mantle does not permit this. After signing the waivers, Anko grinned once again. Alright, for the next 5 days you will be in the forest surviving and trying to steal a scroll you need for the one you already have. What about food? A chubby-looking Konoha genin cried out. There are plants and fruit trees in the forest, you can also hunt for meat if you want to. Alright kids, get going. With that she disappeared in a cloud of smoke. The genin teams approached their respective places to enter the forest. They all entered in running into the forest, hoping to be done with this quickly. Naruto was walking in the forest, observing the plant life. Being taught by a lifeworker Ancilla, he could not help but take samples for him to study. These plants were intriguing. A rustle among the bushes signaled someone was nearby. A crack of a mall branch on the ground says they are nearing him. Out through the bushes was a team of Iwa genin. Alright, if you know what's good for you, you'll give us your scroll, and we won't have to hurt you too badly. Fools. He said to himself. The Iwa genin did not even bother, they just went for the attack. The lead Iwa shinobi immediately jumped at him with a kunai in hand. Naruto just caught him by the throat with his telekinesis, shocking him and making gasp for air. He threw him to a tree, knocking him out. The rest of the Iwa team were shocked at the sight. Their teammate was being held up in the air by some kind of ability from the cloaked man. You bastard. Another Iwa genin called out, lunging at him with his sword. Naruto activated his hard light wrist blades and sliced the sword in half. Using his telekinesis once more, he shocked him to unconsciousness and placed him on the ground. The last one was female. She was frightened. Never in her life had she felt so frightened. Naruto just reached his hand, telling her to hand over something. The kunoichi nodded frantically and handed him a heaven scroll, just what he needed. After that he disappeared in a bright blue flash. The Iwa kunoichi widened her eyes even more. That ability looked familiar, like what the greatest enemy of Iwa used during the Third Shinobi War. The Didact reached tower. His time in the forest was only a mere 5 hours. He wanted to study the plant life some more. But of course he can do that after the preliminaries. He laid down the earth and heaven scrolls, and poofing into existence was his sister. That's right, she was a jonin like their mother. Ani-chan, I thought you would get here faster. Apologies sister, I wanted to study the plant life of this forest, they are fascinating. The cane pouted, moo, Ani-chan, stop getting distracted. You can study them later. Right, now then, is mother's team done already? His sister nodded at the question. They just arrived half an hour ago. The Didact smiled and nodded, that's good, now then we should go and meet them. Sachi, I thought you'd be here a lot quicker, did something hold you back in the forest? Kushina asked, raising an eyebrow. No mother, I was simply fascinated by the plant life of this forest. Being raised by a lifeworker Ancilla does that to you. The samples I have taken are quite fascinating. He held out a vial of some plants that had regenerating properties. Kushina's genin team here was probably the most powerful man in existence, and he is easily fascinated by plants. It was an all-female genin team as well, it impressed Naruto. Female in Forerunner society were highly respected, but here in this world, it was conflicting, many of them viewed as objects and property for the men to use as breeding tools. The mother chuckled, it cannot be helped. Her son is a knowledge seeker as well as a military commander after all. She cannot wait for her son to show this village what he can do. Plus she has 18 years to make up for him. An incident in the forest had occurred. Apparently a man by the name of Orochimaru attacked one of the genins and placed a mark on the boy's neck. The Sandaime decided to go on with the exams, not wanting to make the village look weak. The fool he was, prioritizing reputation over the safety of his people. Due to the large number of genins this exam, they had to do preliminaries. Kushina's genin team faced off against Kumo Shinobi. All three were Kenjutsu specialists thanks to Kushina. Mariko was the medic of the team, while Hikage and Motoko were the hard hitters. All having red hair as they were from the Uzumaki clan. It was an easy win for the three of them. Kumo also had sword users, but they were clearly the better ones. Sasuke Uchiha, who had been marked earlier, insisted that he continue on with the exams. He faced Yoroi Akudo, a fellow Konoha shinobi. The march started when started draining the Uchiha's chakra. Because of the seal on Sasuke, he could not use any chakra-based techniques. He was at a disadvantage. Using Taijutsu instead, he had to copy a technique from one of his fellow rookies, throwing his opponent into the air and then slamming him onto the ground, gaining him victory in the end. The next matches were impressive, a sound shinobi against a Konoha shinobi who used insects. That intrigued Naruto, to be able to use insects and control them at will. Another match was with a puppet user from Suna. He used chakra strings to control the heavily armed puppets. The next match after that was pathetic, two girls who were practically fangirls to the Uchiha boy fought, in the end they knocked each other out, barring them from moving onwards to the finals. Now came Naruto's turn. The people were confused at the name though. Fury of Eternal Maelstrom vs Kiba in Yuzuka. Yahoo, we have an easy win, Akamaru. The dog boy declared, earning a bark of agreement from the puppy. The cane snorted, this boy was an idiot. The Didact simply walked down the arena casually. Kiba laughed, you are so going down. Are you two ready? The Proctor Genma asked the two. Oh yeah. Kiba roared. Naruto just nodded, still wearing his cloak. Very well then, begin. Akamaru immediately transformed into Kiba, the two of them charged at the Didact, only for their attacks to be blocked effortlessly. What? Kiba was a bit stunned, he thought he would have an easy win. He was immediately backhanded by the Didact. Using his telekinesis, he picked up a chunk of concrete from the floor and threw it at the two, still being dazed by the backhand. They were immediately knocked out as Akamaru transformed back into dog form. Biba-sensei Kurenai went down to check on her student, glaring at Naruto. Was that really necessary to beat him like that? Pathetic, your student is pathetic to have underestimated me. And for that he paid the price. Do not worry, he is not dead. With that he walked back up into the platform. Kurenai grit her teeth, Genma placed a hand on her shoulder and shook his head. She then carried him into the infirmary. The next match was a family feud, Hinata and Neji of the Hyuga clan. It appears there were two branches of the family. The main and the branch houses. The branch houses were subjugated by having a seal on their forehead that when activated, it gives them immense pain. Naruto frowned at this, no one should be subjugated like slaves. They had a bloodline ability that gives a 360-degree view of their surroundings. The match went poorly for the girl, being psychologically assaulted by her cousin. It was then that she found strength in herself and begun her attack. They were equally matched in terms of hand-to-hand combat. Dodging and striking at each other, but in the end Neji gained the upper hand by striking her arms and rendering immobile. He tried to kill her but was stopped by multiple Konoha Jonin. Because of the interference, Neji gained the victory by default. That was just horrible. Akane muttered, Kushina and Naruto nodded in agreement. Indeed, to think their clan could be so cruel, especially to Hinata, she seems like a sweet girl. Kushina replied. Dishonorable is what their clan is, they care more about reputation than family. I can tell Hinata is being pressured and ridiculed by her clan for having a gentle and kind-hearted soul. The Didact said, that boy tried to kill his own blood, that is unforgivable, in Forerunner society that would not go unpunished. Easy on E-chan, we don't want you doing something right now. Akane reminded him, Naruto just smirked. I know, I just hope that I get to face him in the finals. The last match went badly. A boy by the name Rock Lee got his legs crushed by the Suna shinobi, who seemed to love bloodshed. He tried to kill him even after the match ended, luckily Lee's sensei blocked the attack. Gaara asked why he protected him, only for Guy to reply that Lee is someone precious to him. Naruto growled at the Suna shinobi, that boy was a Jinchuruki like him. All the genins that won picked numbers on who would they be facing. Naruto grinned and got his wish. Fury of Eternal Maelstrom vs Neju Hyuga. Uchiha Sasuke vs Gaara no Sabaku. Henkuro no Sabaku vs Shino Aburam. Himari no Sabaku vs Shikamaru Nara. Akane chuckled, Ani-chan got what he wished for. Kushina laughed, that Hyuga won't know what hit him. All genin teams were given a month to train and prepare. Shion finally arrived at Konoha and was given a royal welcome by the Sandaime and Naruto himself. Hiruzen was shocked that she was Naruto's wife-to-be. The old man had been trying hard to get Naruto to stay in Konoha, but it just got harder with Shion in the mix. She is a princess, the next in line to lead the land of demons. There were rumors that white demons had sworn loyalty to the priestess and the princess. If these rumors were true, it would be catastrophic if Shion were killed. Shion, Kushina and Akane were enjoying their bath in the local hot springs. Naruto was standing guard somewhere outside. When it came to his lover bathing in a public bath, he was paranoid. He did not show it, but Shion could tell it made him uneasy. Is he really that paranoid? Akane asked her future sister-in-law, enjoying herself in the warm waters. The princess sighed. You have no idea, I was in a public once and an assassin came after me. Naruto of course dealt with him personally, but after that he would always feel uneasy. Especially here in Konoha, knowing that their council knows that I am his fiancé, I have no doubt that someone would be out for my life. That Danzo person, I have a feeling he is more than what he seems to be. Kushina nodded, I never liked him, the day he found out I was pregnant with the twins, he forcefully tried to convince to give them to him after I give birth, he still has his root active, I just know it. Well, at least with him standing guard along with his Prometheans, I don't think we really have to worry. The Novi Didact was patrolling around the hot springs, his Prometheans and the other Forerunner warrior servants still alive after their empire's downfall were standing guard. They swore loyalty to their new home and they would be damned if they let that be destroyed as well. Loyalty is important in Forerunner society. Unlike the Prometheans who were loyal to Madman or Didact, these were loyal to the late librarian and the ISO Didact. Naruto patrolled around the area when he spotted a white-haired man sitting on a tree branch, he pulled him down with his telekinesis, making a loud yelp. What do you think you're doing, huh? Can't you see I was enjoying my paradise? You were peeking on my fiancé, my mother and sister. He activated his hardlight sword. A double-edged blade made of pure light. Unforgivable. A few seconds later multiple Prometheans teleported into the vicinity, light rifles and suppressors at the ready. You have violated Her Highness and the Didact's family. A Promethean officer said as he pointed his bolt shot at the pervert. Well now guys, I can explain. The white-haired man began to panic, waving his arms like a fool. The three women walked out wearing nothing but towels. Two warrior servants carried extra towels and covered them even more. My ladies please, you are both indecent right now. Please return to the hot springs, we will deal with him. No, Kushina said sternly, turning to the white-haired pervert. It's been a while Jiraiya, I should have known that you would go ahead and peep on us while we bathe. I was giving you three a compliment. The man named Jiraiya tried to justify his actions. The Prometheans and warrior servants growled and pointed their hard-light weaponry at the man. The Didact on the other hand, was furious. You dare. Wait. Don't do something you will regret young man. Kushina scoffed, Jiraiya, that young man, is Naruto, your godson. What? Naruto hissed, you are telling me this pathetic excuse for a man is my godfather. Jiraiya's eyes were bugging out and Naruto, wow you grew. The next thing he saw was a fist coming from his godson and everything went black. Story start. Ugh. Jiraiya grunted, he was lying on the grass as he fluttered his eyes open. Well, it seems the pervert is awoken. The perverted toad turned his head to find a man 6 feet and 7 inches tall. Wearing beautiful white armor with blue energy glowing on the trims, he had floating shoulder pads, and his helmet also had what seemed to floating blue gems on top. The helmet retracted and folded into the armor, revealing a blond man with blue eyes. Minato. No Jiraiya, I am not my father. Jiraiya widened his eyes as he sat up, how did you know about you father? You weren't supposed to. I wasn't supposed to know. Is that what you are trying to say? I put 2 and 2 together when I was only 8 years old. The old fool Sarutobi claimed it was for my own protection, I wasn't safe in this wretched village, so when I turned 5, the oh so wonderful villagers tried to take my life, they thought they succeeded when I fell off that cliff with that blade embedded in my chest. Luckily I was saved by my adopted father. You aren't a shinobi of Konoha. Jiraiya was beginning to dread, Minato wanted him to be seen as a hero of Konoha, but everything seems to be falling apart with this. Why should I be a loyal soldier of a village that wanted me dead? Naruto asked, why should I live in this village that has scorned me, that saw me as the Kyuubi incarnate? Tell me Jiraiya why. You are a Jinchuruki Naruto, you know that now. If word got out that Konoha lost its Jinchuruki, it would destroy the balance of the 5 great nations. Jiraiya argued those were very poor choice of words. Are you telling me my son is nothing but a weapon to you? Kushina walked in, her hair turning into 9 tails, furious at what she just heard. I meant nothing like that Kushina. Jiraiya shouted back, this was going very badly. I merely meant that because the village was still recovering from the Kyuubi's attack and if word got out, Iwa and Kumo would not hesitate to attack us. Furthermore. I think we have heard enough. The Didact raised his hand, ordering him to stop talking. It is clear to me that you have no excuse for neglecting your responsibilities, neither you nor the old man told me that my mother was alive, only wanting to keep me here as the village's weapon. I have no love for this village, nor do I owe this village anything. They owe me. I will enjoy seeing this village slowly die. I think we can agree to that Sachi. Kushina smirked after the exams, Yuzushi Agakure will be demanding compensations for keeping their heir from them. I have already sent word to my father on what happened to his grandson. Kushina you can't be serious. This is the home of your husband. Jiraiya screamed, this was bad, very bad for them. He would be disappointed of what this village had done to his son Jiraiya. Kushina growled, leaking out killing intent. Like what Naruto said, they owe him. Now get lost Jiraiya and forward this message to the old man about our demands. Naruto said as he raised his arm, multiple Prometheans and warrior servants appeared in the area, pointing their hard light weapons at the Toad Sage. Jiraiya bowed his head in shame, walking away. He did not expect Naruto to be this powerful. Soon this village will be a shadow of its former self. Naruto muttered with a smirk. He turned to his mother, so, has grandfather agreed to the alliance with Demon Country? He approved of it right away, after the exams he can't wait to meet you, as well as my mother. Kushina giggled. When he heard that you were betrothed to the princess of Demon Country, he was so excited. I guess that means that our marriage will also be a political one, not that I mind of course. The Didact chuckled. Iron Country has also agreed to the alliance. They were impressed by the warrior servants and the Prometheans, never had I seen such honorable warriors. Mifune Dono said. Guarding lights suddenly appeared before them. They were more than happy to join us. That is good news. The Didact smiled. What of our sentinels that we sent to Cherim Hacker? They have excavated many intact warships from the ancient human empire. The Ancilla replied. Kushina gasped at this. Ancient humans. The lifeworker Ancilla nodded, yes Lady Kushina, 100,000 years ago, the humans of that time had technology that rivaled that of the Forerunners. Although they began to decline from the war with the Flood and the Forerunners unfortunately. It was because of the Flood that we resorted to extreme measures. Kushina was awed and let the Ancilla continue, as I was saying, many intact warships were preserved from the war underground. We will be sending our Hirugoks right away to retrieve them and bolster our fleet. Iron Country will also like them once we teach them how to use them. Many of them range from capital ships, battleships, dreadnoughts, carriers and so forth. Unfortunately the cities on the planet's surface did not fare well, they will have to rebuild later in the future. I see, at least it is good that we recovered the ships. What of Installation 07? Naruto asked. We can begin moving it here into orbit, decommissioning the super weapon within it and converting it into a shipyard and small colony. Although colonization will take longer, the conversion will only take a month and a half with our Hirugoks, I apologize if it isn't fast enough. The blonde shook his head, no matter guarding light, that is still good news, change is coming to this world and many are resented by it, wanting to hold on to their outdated ways. We will not participate in their petty conflicts, we are no longer the ones hold the mantle alone, the mantle is for all sentient life to uphold. Yes Didact, we will begin right away. With that the Ancilla disappeared in a blue flash of light. Kushina who watched the whole conversation had her jaw dropped. This was amazing, other worlds, ancient human civilizations. This was also overwhelming for her. Mother, are you alright? Why yes, sorry this is just all so overwhelming, I mean ancient human civilization with advanced technology, I mean wow. Kushina breathed. The blonde nodded to his mother, I know, but you will get used to it soon, I hope the Hirugoks did not make you uncomfortable. Kushina chuckled, it takes some time getting used to being around them, I mean they don't really do anything besides fix things and float around. Yes Naruto laughed, they act more like computers than living beings much to our dismay. Now come, best we get back to the ship. They then disappeared in a flash of blue light. Unknown ship. Nearing the shinobi world. Captain, how was cryo sleep? A white female-looking AI hologram appeared in the ship's bridge. An aged man walked into the bridge, he was a senior officer and captain of this ship. Good Serena, and you? I am surprisingly well captain, I mean I show no signs of rampancy or decay for some reason. It's strange, I think our encounter with that Forerunner shield world did something to me when I connected to the Forerunner network. The AI known as Serena informed her captain with a cheery look. That's good at least, what of the crew? They are beginning to wake up sir, Professor Anders is already on her way here. Serena notified the captain. Within seconds an Asian-looking woman with black hair and brown eyes walked in, Captain Cutter, good morning I guess. Morning to you too Anders. Serena, what is our current course? Captain Cutter said. We are approaching a planet as you can see over there, we will be there within a week or so, ahem. Serena placed a hand on her chin. Serena, what is it? Ellen Anders asked the AI. Detecting slipspace ruptures. Covenant. The captain asked with worry, this was not a good time. Serena shook her head. No captain, they are. Forerunner Ellen muttered as she looked out the window, multiple dreadnought-type ships she saw in the shield world they were in appeared out of slipspace and approached the planet, escorting unknown design ships with them. They did not pay mind to them and simply passed them. The ships they were escorting them were huge. But not as huge as the one they saw coming from the planet. My god, James Cutter said with disbelief, Serena, are you seeing this? Serena nodded dumbly at this, despite being a smart AI, yes sir, the Forerunner ship from the planet is 142.7 kilometers in length, height is at 371.4 kilometers, and width is at 138.6 kilometers, is it okay if I start freaking out now? Ellen was staring at the behemoth before them, the ship seems to be retrieving the dreadnoughts, as the unknown ships formed kept on moving towards the planet, entering the atmosphere. Then they heard a voice from the ship's comm. Greetings Reclaimers, welcome to our humble home. I am 097 guarding light and Scylla to the Furies Ascent and the Didact. This is Captain James Cutter of the UNSC Spirit of Fire. We thank you for your welcome. It is of no worry Reclaimer, please dock into our ship, the Didact would wish to speak with you. With that the communication went offline. My god, are we going to meet an actual Forerunner? Ellen gasped, but then her face went sad. I wish John was here. James sighed, I know Serena plot a course to that ship's docking bay. We have a meeting to attend to. By the way, how long have we been in cryo? 27 years, 5 months, 2 weeks, 6 days, 5 hours, 30 minutes and 25 seconds. Serena replied. 27 years my god. Ellen gasped, we've been gone for that long. At least we can hopefully get help from these guys. James sighed once more. Wow, we're really in space. Akane said out loud in the observation deck, and we're meeting other humans with their own spaceships. It seems so Kushina was still processing this whole thing, unlike her daughter who is enthusiastic about everything. She can be really slow sometimes. Sensei, are you okay? Mitoko asked while sparring with her fellow teammates. Mariko and Hokage were looking at her worriedly as well. Yeah, I am, just overwhelmed by all of this. I mean my son is the commander of probably the most advanced race in the galaxy. Kushina sighed. Well, no need to really be so overwhelmed about it though, we're probably going to be seeing more of this anyway. Hokage said bluntly and with a straight face. You're probably right. Kushina replied. Guarding light floated down into the docking bay where the Reclaimer ship was docked. He spotted a couple of them coming out of it and immediately approached them. Ah, welcome Reclaimers to the Furies Ascent. And you must be guarding light? Ellen asked the Ancilla. Yes, once again I am 097 guarding light, lifeworker Ancilla to this ship and the Didact. About the Didact, is he a Forerunner? Ellen asked with a hopeful look. The Ancilla looked at the woman, only 70% of him is Forerunner, 5% of him is human, and the 25% is unknown at the moment. We are still investigating that last part. His blood-adopted father though is Forerunner, but he left the galaxy a few years ago. Only 70%. His father is a Forerunner. Ellen, despite being a researcher on Forerunner, was having a hard time to process this. She means why only 70%? James cut in. He was originally human when we found him, but he was gravely injured, we had to reconstruct most of his body, and the previous Didact who was his adopted father, donated some of his blood, wanting to take him in as his son. He suffered massive damage to his body and lost an extreme amount of blood, although an unknown entity within him began to heal him, it was not enough to save him, so we had to essentially modify his genes in order to accept the Forerunner blood being transfused into him. After that, despite his appearance, there is very little percentage of human left in him. Guarding Light explained. His wife-to-be also has Forerunner blood in her because they mated. It probably had too with the unknown 25% within him and the entity as well. Amazing Ellen came out of her daze, advanced medical technology that rewrites DNA. Indeed, but please follow me, the Didact awaits your meeting. No need to come in armed, this ship is very secure. It's just protocol. James said. Understood Reclaimer, now please follow me. The Ancilla floated away with the humans following suit. Naruto in his combat skin was standing in the meeting room, looking out the window. Shion walked in wearing her new combat skin with a certain glow in her face. He turned to his future wife with a raised eyebrow. My love, what is it? Shion's eyes started to glow and water as she gives him a huge smile. I'm pregnant. Story start. I am going to be a father. Naruto stared at his love. Yes Naruto, we are going to be parents. Shion walked up to the Didact, wrapping her arms around his waist and placed her head on his chest. We are going to be parents. You, I do not deserve a woman as perfect as you. Oh stop it, you Shion sniffed, I love you too. Now the Reclaimers will be here any second now and we are both being emotional. She dried her tears, I will be back in a few minutes to change to something more comfortable. How long are you now? Naruto asked her. 3 months, the sentinels in the medical ward told me that first pregnancies have a tendency to not show that much. Shion smiled at him. The Didact knelt down and placed his head on her stomach, my child, oh I cannot wait to meet you. She patted his head, alright then, they'll be here soon, I am just going to go change. She walked out of the room, leaving a smiling Didact, were it not for his helmet, he would be seen with tears of joy rolling down his cheeks. He deactivated his helmet and wiped his tears, he did not want the Reclaimers to see him like this. Oh my god, Ellen gazed at the warrior servants guarding the halls. Forerunners, Captain, those are Forerunners. The captain of the Spirit of Fire nodded, yeah, how many of them are alive in this ship guarding light? Thanks to the efforts of our previous Didact when the installations activated, over more than 500,000 warrior servants and Prometheans are in this ship. Our warrior servants are both male and female, while the Prometheans are all male. Over the few years our numbers grew thanks to procreation. Ellen blushed at how blunt the AI can be. The rest of my creators left the galaxy. As for where they went, I unfortunately do not know. The guarding light told them as they walked through the hallways. A few more minutes passed and they stopped in front of a door. The Didact is waiting for us behind this door. The door swooshed open revealing a male and female human and 3 green armored humans behind them. Welcome Reclaimers to the Fury's Ascent. I am Fury of Eternal Maelstrom. You can simply just call me Didact. He bowed to them in greeting. Wow, the AI wasn't lying when he said you look human. The man said, I am Captain James Cutter of the UNSC Spirit of Fire. He held out a hand. I have 70% Forerunner in me because of the bodily reconstruction I had to go through when I was a child. 5% human is all that's left, while the unknown 25% is still there. The Didact explained as he took his hand. With all the mixed genes inside him and the unknown 25% in him, effectively creating a new race entirely alongside his wife-to-be. The door opened revealing a beautiful light blonde young woman with purple eyes. Ah, young Mr. Shion, Reclaimers, I would like to introduce you all to Lady Shion, the Didact's wife-to-be. It is nice to meet you all. Shion bowed to them and took a seat beside her lover. Captain Cutter and the rest bowed back in greeting. He then turned back to the Didact. Didact, I would like to ask you what those unknown ships were that were being escorted by your ships before they entered the planet's atmosphere. Ah, those, you would be surprised to know that those are ancient human ships from Cherim Hacker. Your race was once a proud empire. He said while smiling to them. Ellen gasped, I did not know about that. Not many know, as their history was lost to time when the Halo ray fired, it was all because of the flood. The Ancilla finished. Now then, I wish to ask how you all came here. It seems that your ship is without a slipspace drive. Naruto said, placing his arms on the table. That's right. James then explained to them about their war with the Covenant, how they ended up in a shield world, then its destruction. Naruto sighed, unfortunate that one of our shield worlds was destroyed, but it was necessary. The Sanshyuim have changed over the past 100,000 years. They used to be in an alliance with the human empire back then. It seems they were angry that humanity is to be the successor of the Forerunners. So all they want is your people's technology, and they got jealous. James asked with a hint of disbelief in his voice, unbelievable. Indeed, well then, we will be more than happy to repair your ship and install a slipspace drive. Our Hirugoks and Sentinels are already repairing as we speak. The Didact informed them with a smile on his face. James sighed in relief, thank you Didact, this is a huge help. I guess we can also have a bit of shore leave. It's been a while since the crew has had a break, and we can rest easy now. You have no idea how happy we are. Well then, if you need anything, just look for me or guarding light. If you will excuse me, I have matters to attend to down on the planet. Ellen nodded, of course Didact, thank you once again. Naruto stood up and noticed his gauntlet blinking. The Ancilla turned to him, ah Didact, installation 07 has arrived, decommissioning of the array's weapon has been completed and conversion to a shipyard will begin momentarily. That is good news, now then I should be heading back. Come my love. He took out his hand for her to take, they walked out of the room and went to meet with Kushina. 1 month later. Naruto and Shion with the rest of the Uzumakas teleported down back to Konoha. A month had passed since then, and the finals were now underway. They teleported once more into the place where it was being held. Shion's pregnancy had finally begun to show, with her are several Promethean escorts. To protect their Didact's pregnant lover is of utmost importance, for they are the start of a new race, and the legacy of their race as well. The crew of the Spirit of Fire were enjoying their shore leave in the land of demons. Their ship had begun refitting with Forerunner tech, as is the will of the librarian to help them. They decided to stay here a while until they leave for UNSC space along with the Didact to meet with the rest of the Reclaimers. They were surprised as to how similar the WORLD-S culture is to Japan. Another shocking thing was the abilities the people exhibited. They had faster reflexes, higher strength, and elemental abilities as well others. Their combat prowess rivaled that of the Spartans. James in particular was worried if the Oni found out about this, they would more than likely try to annex them. If they refused, he want to think about that one. Back at the arena, Naruto approached the proctor of the finals. Am I late? He asked Genma. The proctor shook his head. No, you're a bit early, we are just getting everyone ready at the moment, go ahead and step into the arena if you want to. With his cloak on once more, he stepped down into the arena. The audience were murmuring about him, who this unknown foreigner was, and how he reached this far. Foolish villagers of Konoha, I will show you all. He inwardly growled, he really hated this village. A few minutes later everyone was finally here, along with the other cages of other villages. Shion was among them with the Promethean escorts. The Cages heard about the land of demons' boost in economy and military power, and now for the first time they are seeing them, strange dark armored people, 10 feet tall holding weapons they have never seen before. Guarding the heiress of the country and seems to be pregnant. She was wearing an elegant pink kimono, her hair flowing freely down to her back. Many women were jealous of her beauty while the men were eyeing her. Tsunade was worried even more now. There was no doubt that the princess of Demon Country was pregnant with Naruto's child. And her protection was of utmost importance to be guarded by 5 10 feet tall soldiers wielding strange weapons. It scared him even more that Uzumaki Hokage were now notified of Naruto being alive. The Uzumaki was glaring at him, he was also Kushina's father. Shion looked at the Uzumaki and nodded to him, at which the elderly man nodded back with a smile. Lady Shion, it seems the rumors of you being pregnant with my grandson's child is true, this is wonderful news. Thank you Uzumaki Dono, I cannot wait to be a mother. Shion said with a smile. Ah, it seems it's starting. Back at the arena, Neji stepped down and dropped down to a Gyuukin stance, waiting for the match to start. Give up foreigner, fate has decreed that I would be the victor of this match. Your belief of fate is meaningless in battle boy. Naruto removed his cloak and tossed it into the ground, revealing his bright white armor with blue energy glowing. His helmet with floating gems on top along with his floating shoulder guards. Fate is meaningless here, there is only battle. The audience were awed at the sight of this armored man, standing at almost 7 feet tall because of the armor, it was like seeing an angel. The Cages were shocked at the sight to see the rumored white demon of Demon Country in the exams. Tsunade was worried once more, Naruto was the white demon. Shion was smiling down proudly at her lover. The Uzumaki was impressed at the sight to think that his grandson was the white demon himself, entering the exams to show them his power. Naruto looked at the cage stands, more specifically his lover, Shion, my love and my life, I dedicate this battle to you. This shocked the audience, this here is the lover of the princess of Demon Country. Many of the women jealous that someone would do something like this for his lover. Naruto turned to Neji, I am Fury of Eternal Maelstrom, Didact and Supreme Commander of the military forces of Demon Country. Neji scowled, HMPH, you are underserving of such introductions peasant. Fate has decreed my victory. Very well boy, you will know that fate is meaningless. Genma cleared his throat, are you two ready? Both participants nodded. Hajime. Neji was the first to move, forfeit. You cannot win. He struck at Naruto, only for him to disappear in a bright blue flash and appear behind him. What is the meaning of this Lady Shion, how does he know that technique? The Tsuchikage Inoki glared at the princess. How he knows it is none of your business Inoki Dono. Shion kept a straight face, but was inwardly cheering for her lover. Her escorts tensed and glared at the short old man. I would watch your mouth little man, do not disrespect Lady Shion. The leader of the Promethean escort growled at the Tsuchikage. Tsunade on the other hand was sweating, not only does he know his heritage, but his father's technique as well. And the land of demons has him. Inwardly he was seething. The audience was stunned at the sight, someone besides their beloved fourth knows the technique, instead of yellow it was blue. Fools, this is not my father's technique, it's just a standard issue Forerunner teleporter. He smirked behind his helmet after he appeared behind Neji. The Hyuga in question turned his head only to be backhanded by him, hard. He flew for a few feet and landed on the ground a good 2 meters away. You said I cannot defeat you, and yet I drew first blood boy, where is your precious fate? The Didact taunted the Hyuga. Shut up. 8 trigrams, 64 palms. He growled and used his cleanse technique on him, creating a dust cloud. 1 palm. 2 palms. 4 palms. 8 palms. 16 palms. 32 palms. 8 trigrams 64 palms. He finally finished, I told you, fate has decreed I would be the victor. Proctor called the match. You're overconfident boy. Naruto called out within the dust cloud. The dust cloud cleared and revealed that not even a scratch was on him. Did you think really such a primitive technique would work? Impossible Neji whispered, impossible. Let me show you how wrong your fate is. He held out his hand, his blue energy turning red. A red energy ball appeared on his hand, getting bigger and bigger. It got to the size of a diameter of 10 meters. The Didact only whispered one word. Vijudama. Rotation. Neji screamed, hoping the attack would get deflected, but no avail. A large explosion occurred at the center of the arena. After the cloud cleared, Neji was on the ground bloodied and beaten, trying to get up, no fate as he didn't get to finish as he lost consciousness. The Cage were rendered speechless at the spectacle. The battle didn't even last 10 minutes. Shion was cheering happily for her lover, clapping her hands. The Hyuga clan who watched the battle was seething, someone more powerful than them defeated their prodigy so easily. The rest of the audience didn't even know what to do. The entire arena was quiet at the display of power. Genma finally found his voice, winner. Fury of Eternal Maelstrom. There were no cheers besides the Yuzu Shinobi and Shion. He teleported into the cage booth and knelt down in front of Shion. "Are you pleased, my love?" He took her hand and caressed it. Shion smiled. "Yes, my love, well done." He caressed his cheek when his helmet folded into the combat skin. Inoki widened his eyes. You are his spawn, aren't you?" The old man growled at the Didact. "I should gut you where you stand." The Prometheans pointed their hard light weapons at the old man. "You will threaten our Didact like that?" The lead Promethean declared. Naruto raised his arm. "Lower your weapons, Prometheans." Inoki don't know, it is true he is my father, but choose your words wisely. If I were you do not want to risk a war you cannot win. Inoki knew he would not win, not with the demon country's increase in military power, along with the alliance with Iron Country and Whirlpool. He sat back down in defeat, seething. Sasuke's match was postponed. Naruto scoffed that they were still pampering the Uchihas as always. The next match after did not happen as Kankuro forfeited. The next one was awkward, a lazy pineapple-headed boy named Shikamaru not wanting to fight because his opponent was a girl. He was thrown into the arena by one of his teammates. The fight was boring in the end. He forfeited as his chakra reserves went low. "Sorry. Are we late?" A silver-haired man with his headband covering his right eye poofed into existence along with Sasuke. "You are, be lucky the Hokage decided to postpone your match or I would have disqualified your student," Genma said with an irritated look. "What?" Sasuke growled. "You cannot disqualify me. I am an Uchiha." "Be quiet. I outrank you, Genin." Genma scolded. "Now get your ass into the arena, your match is about to start." "The match between Gaara no Sabaku and Sasuke Uchiha is about to commence," the announcer said. Naruto and Shion sat down together observing the match. The Didact could sense that Gaara was a Jinchuruki like him, exhibiting an aura. Thanks to guarding light and the ISO Didact, he had complete control of the Kyuubi's powers and senses while extracting the beast's consciousness and imprisoning it. The Kyuubi himself was furious that he got an even worse prison, with the ISO Didact taking it with him when he left the galaxy. Leaving only the chakra and its powers with Naruto, without the beast to hinder him, he had unlimited access to all 9 tails at his disposal. "Are both of you ready?" They nodded. "Hajime." Sasuke was the first to move, activating his Sharingan. He begun to move at extreme speed. "Wow, his speed is even faster than Lee's," Tenten said with surprise. Sasuke got closer, throwing punches and kicks only for Gaara's sand to block all the attacks. The Uchiha then sped up even more, as his attacks also gained more speed. The sand kept blocking the attacks, but it was getting more difficult to keep up until he was finally struck by a punch to the head, sending the red-head boy flying onto the ground a few meters away. Gaara had a sadistic and almost insane look on his face. He sat down and created a ball of sand around him, with an eye made of sand appearing above it. Seeing that there was nothing else that could penetrate the barrier, a torrent of lightning appeared on the Uchiha's right hand. He charged at the ball of sand and struck it. "Chidori!" He screamed. Spikes of sand went to defend and striking a few parts on his shoulders and face, only drawing blood as the lightning attack got through. He jumped back and gazed at the hole. He swore he saw an eye in it. What came next was a monstrous roar and a flare signal in the air. "Fukukuku, it seems the invasion has begun, sensei." The Kazukiage chuckled at Sarutobi as he removed the robes, revealing a pale man with snake-like features on his face. Orochimaru hears and growled. "Well, this is unexpected." Naruto looked at the snake man. He turned to Shion. "My love, return to the ship, I will handle this." Shion gave him a kiss and disappeared in a bright blue flash. "Summon more Prometheans, we are under attack, and have the Furies Ascent come here and ready its weapons." "Yes, Didact." The Promethean nodded. 100 more Prometheans appeared in blue flashes around the stadium, fighting off the sand and sound ninjas. "Now then." He looked at Gaara down at the arena and then back at Orochimaru. A Promethean gave him a light rifle and pointed it at Orochimaru. "Let us show you the power of the preservers." Story start. Orochimaru had not calculated the arrival of an army with advanced weapons. He had not calculated the son of the fourth to be such a powerful man. He was hoping to take Shion as a hostage, but she disappeared in a flash of blue light. And now he was down to his final plan, way ahead of schedule. "Damn it." The snake cursed as he summoned a single coffin. The other 2 were destroyed by explosions caused by the 10 feet tall soldiers. "That coffin," Jiraiya muttered. "Orochimaru, you bastard. You completed that jutsu, didn't you?" "Yes." Orochimaru grinned and then frowned, "but thanks to his son, I have to speed up my plans if I am to win." "Kuchius. Ito Tensei." The coffin opened up revealing a blonde man very much like Naruto's. Said blonde growled, "You summoned the dead to do your bidding, dishonorable." He materialized a crimson blade with a large circle in the middle. "I will gut you, you snake. But first, a family reunion is in order." Just in time Kushina and Akane arrived, but their eyes widened in horror at the scene. The snake had used a forbidden technique to revive Kushina's husband and fight them. "Stay back, mother, sister." He did not leave them any room to protest. "I will fight him." All sentinels on standby, do not strike until I give the order. The sentinels that arrived alongside the Prometheans beeped in acknowledgement. Minato's eyes opened and the first thing she saw was Kushina and a younger version of her. Kushina, a cane. His eyes went to a white-armored man, his eyes widened when the helmet folded back into the armor, revealing a blonde young man with blue eyes, Naruto. Father, he was about to continue when something unexpected happened. Instead of a body like those of the Ito Tensei, Minato started getting more color back, the cracks on his body disappearing. Mother, what is happening? Kushina's eyes started watering. Minato, he's been revived completely. I think it's because of the fact that the Shinigami absorbed his soul. The Ito Tensei brought him back. She ran and caught the collapsing Minato, still awake but weakened from the complete revival. No. No. This was not supposed to happen. Orochimaru roared, glaring at Naruto, damn you. He lunged at the Didact. Naruto rolled his eyes and readied his blade. He stepped to the side and made a swing, cutting off the snake's left arm completely. Orochimaru roared in pain and fell to the floor. He got up and lunged at the Didact once more, completely disregarding the fact he lost an arm. All sentinels, subdue the red-headed girl within Orochimaru's sound 4. He said as he made another swing of his sword. The sentinels complied and approached the red-haired girl. What the FCK? Get the FCK away from me. The girl had such a mouth. The sentinels performed a web and drew closer to her. At contact she was rendered immobile by the hard light web. Let me go. Let me go, you F-curs. She completely stopped what she was doing when a huge shadow cast over them, her eyes widened at what she is seeing. It was a ship of epic proportions. What the FCK? Minato looked up as he lay on his wife's lap while watching Naruto effortlessly beat Orochimaru. The snake was on his knees once more. What is that? He said, looking up at the sky. That is our son's ship. A lot has happened while you were gone, Minato Koi. Kushina said sadly at the last part. O2-san, a voice came from their left. The Kane-chan, look at you, all grown up. Minato groaned, still in exhaustion from being revived. The younger redhead simply covered her father in an embrace as he wept on his chest. O2-san. Minato simply placed his hand on her head, stroking it gently. I'm sorry, Akane, I left you guys. How are you so powerful? Orochimaru growled in pain. Simple, I am a preserver. He pointed his bolt shot right at his face, charging the gun. For your crimes against the people of this world, you have been judged. He pulled the trigger, releasing a blast of blue energy, disintegrating the snake. Naruto watched scream in pain as he was being turned to ashes by the energy. He turned to his gauntlet, Fury's Ascent, charge the decomposer, and target all sound shinobi only within this village, minus the ones we have subdued. The rest of the Namikazes watched as the massive ship started glowing at lower center of its hull. A bright blue energy glowing brighter and brighter, and the sound growing louder and louder. The many of the sound shinobi who were fighting started to feel a massive burning sensation, their hands burning a bright blue and turning to ash. Minato and the rest of his family could only watch as the screams were being heard all over the village, turning to ash. Like Kami, Minato muttered, in just mere seconds the sand shinobi were in full retreat out of fear of what is happening, their allies turned to ash by blue light. Naruto, Kushina said to her son, what was that? That would be the decomposer, an anti-infantry weapon designed to eliminate ground troops and the crew of enemy ships, minimizing casualties as well. Naruto explained. It was designed to eliminate the flood threat should the need arise. Right now, I used it to eliminate the enemy. With that, the invasion is over. Kushina looked at the ashes left in the streets, being swept away by the wind. It's scary if you think about that such a weapon exists. Indeed, Naruto nodded, but some measures are necessary in order to save more lives. Naruto, Minato began. I know, we will talk more in my ship. He grabbed all three of them and disappeared in a bright blue flash. The Prometheans disappeared as well as the sentinels flew back to the ship. Leaving the denizens of Konoha in shock, Jiraiya especially. And now they were without a Hokage as Hiruzen was killed by Orochimaru in a surprise attack. This is an outrage, we have been humiliated by these foreigners. Doing our job in defending Konoha, and now they have some kind of weapon that can destroy an entire army, we must take it from them. A fat civilian roared in anger. And how do you suppose we do that? A man said in a bored tone, he had the same pineapple hairstyle like Shikamaru. You do realize the demon country is now the most powerful nation in the world. No, I refuse to accept that. Konoha has been the most powerful military in the world and we are not going to sit by as some backwater nation take that from us. Another civilian roared in anger. And I thought we killed that demon. To think he is still alive and living in demon country, fitting for a demon to live there. But he leads a powerful army, not to mention he commands that large flying object in the sky. Face it, he is far more powerful than any of us. Shikaku said, you shouldn't have tried to kill him, and now look where it got us. I am agreement with Shikaku-san, Inoichi Yamanaka said. That boy was an asset to this village, he had the power of the Kyuubi at his fingertips, and now we are without a Jinchuruki, we have been weakened greatly today. For now we recovered, Danzo said, and I will be acting Hokage as of this moment, since Hiruzen died in battle by the hands of the snake. I will lead this village to greatness. Minato opened his eyes, he was in a white room on a soft bed, Kushina to his left and Akane to his right smiling down at him. Kushina, Akane, where am I? You are aboard the Fury's Ascent, Naruto Nai-chan's ship. Akane replied with a smile on her face. It's a ship that can go to space. While he was interrupted by the door opening, walking in was Naruto with a blonde young woman with purple eyes wearing a pink kimono, her swollen stomach showing she was with child. You're awake, that's good, I would like to introduce you to Shion, Princess of Demon Country, and my future wife. Your fiancé Kami, I've missed so much, I'm so sorry. Tears started trickling down the blonde man's face. It is not your fault, Father, Naruto began, were it not for you though, despite the horrible childhood I have lived, I would not be where I am today, I would not have met Shion, my love and my life. He knelt his head onto Shion's scalp. And she is pregnant with my child, your grandchild. I'm going to be a grandfather, the villagers did not honor request, didn't they? Minato said with a grim look. No, they did not, they saw me as the fox incarnate, they saw me as the monster that nearly destroyed them that day, and for that I am going to watch as the village slowly and painfully dies out. Naruto declared. I don't blame you, I just wish that. Kushina shut him up with a kiss, it's okay Minato-koi, he knows we're together now, and that's all that matters. Right now we have to find Tsunade, they will no likely try to find her and bring her back to Konoha, we can't let that happen. Agreed, I will be at the bridge, the Fury's Ascent will arrive at Tenzakugai soon, that is where Tsunade has been spotted by my sentinels. If you are also wondering about what happened to Tsunade's Jinchuruki, my Prometheans defeated easily and was in retreat thanks to Guarding Light's research on chakra suppression. He was fascinated by chakra that he came up with a way to suppress chakra flow, rendering an enemy shinobi immobile. It seemed that it also works on Jinchuruki. If you wish to know more, you can find Guarding Light in the medical ward. He walked out of the door leaving Shion with her new extended family. Minato-san, it is nice to meet you. Shion said, I would have loved to bow in greeting but, as you can see. I know Shion-san, I just can't believe I'm going to be a grandfather. Minato said with a smile, how did you two meet? Well, she giggled, that was almost 5 years ago. Shion then began to tell them the tale. Despite Danzo taking over after Hiruzen's death, Konoha was in a state of chaos, many of the business areas were in ruins. And then there was the demand for compensation from Yasushi Agakure for the lies that were given to them about Naruto. They personally went to the Fire Daimyo about it as well. Konoha had no choice but to hand them 90 million ryo from each of Konoha's clans as compensation. Needless to say, Konoha hit a recession, they were extremely low on cash, as the amount of money they had to hand over to Whirlpool was extremely large for a village. Damn you Kyuubi brat. Danzo growled. His forces were wiped out during the invasion, burns on the bodies of the root shinobi were evident, his underground base destroyed during the invasion. He was sure Naruto was the cause of this, no one else had weapons that burned to the touch like this. I will get you for this Kyuubi brat, and I will take your beloved demon country for myself. In Demon Country, the crew of the Spirit of Fire were enjoying their much-needed vacation after all this. Ellen especially, as she studied the ancient human ships that were docked in Installation 07. She was fascinated at how technologically advanced they were, rivaling that of the Forerunners. She continued studying them, this time with unrestricted access to their records and technology. She was in Cloud 9, she now has more knowledge of Forerunner technology than Dr. Catherine Halsey. In Tenzakugai, a buxom blonde woman looking, she was in her mid-20s, with her was a young woman also in mid-20s holding a piglet. Tsunade-sama, please, this is your 10th bottle already. No, I haven't got my fill yet. She was drunk, there was no doubt about it. First Dan and Milwaukee, and then my son Minato and my grandson Naruto, I didn't even tell him he was my son. Tsunade-sama. Shizune looked at her sadly, it was true, Tsunade was actually Minato's mother, Dan being the father. But she didn't tell him out of fear that he would react badly to it. Then the people outside started gathering together by the town square. Kami-sama, look at it. Huh? Shizune tilted her head, she walked outside and what she saw, she couldn't believe her eyes, the rumored object from Demon Country was floating above, shadowing the entire town of Tenzakugai. Tsunade-sama. She looked at her head on the table as she finally lost consciousness. Shizune sighed, Tsunade-sama. Inside the inn they were in a bright blue flash appeared, the light dissipated and revealed a man clad in beautiful white armor, with glowing blue lights glowing on it. Are you Tsunade Senju? The man asked, unaware that she was unconscious. Yes, she is out of it at the moment, she had drunk too much, and who are you? And how did you appear from the blue flash? Wait, flash. Only Minato knew that kind of technique. Who is this man? If you are wondering who I am, you can help me take care back to my ship that is hovering above us. More of your questions will be answered in there. Do not be afraid, you will not be harmed. He took out his hand. Shizune knew this could be a bad idea, but what choice did she have? This man was powerful, that much she knew. She took a hold of Tsunade's shoulder and the piglet while the man grabbed her shoulder. With that, they disappeared in a bright blue light. Story start. Shizune stammered, the sight of the Fury's Ascent interior was simply breathtaking, bridges made of light, floating metals, and flying objects that were looking at them with bright blue eyes. Ah, Didact, welcome back. And these must be our new guests, I will inform the young mistress at once. Guarding Light said with a cheery tone. Shizune's jaw was down, the flying ball of light just spoke. Wah, who? That was my Ancilla 093 Guarding Light. He is a life worker, equivalent to your medical doctors of this world. Now come, we will bring he to the medical ward where she can recover. They stepped into a platform, it was an elevator that went up. Shizune was taken aback, their technology was so advanced, nothing like she had ever seen before. The platform stopped and the door opened, revealing an extremely large medical lifeworker sentinels doing their job studying specimens they had gathered. Many of them experimenting with new life as well. The Didact placed Tsunade on a bed, my family will be here shortly. He informed the young woman, at which she nodded, still overwhelmed by the medical technologies in this area. This entire floor was devoted to medical science. She then noticed men 10 feet tall walking about, she was floored, these people were aliens, they were not of this world. Oh wow. Amazing, isn't it? Yes, they are from a different world, they have come here in search of a new home. I myself was born in this world when one of them found me and adopted me. I in the end became their Didact. Their leader. He turned to the door, ah, here they are. Hello, Shizune, Kushina greeted with a smile. Kushina-sama. What are you doing here? My place is with my son, Naruto. Have you even introduced yourself properly yet? Kushina gave her son a smirk. Shizune was then shocked once more. Naruto deactivated his helmet revealing his face, he was an exact copy of Minato. Oh Kami, they said you died. They lied, Naruto replied, they wanted to keep me there as their precious weapon. Ugh, Tsunade grunted, her eyes slowly opening to see a ghost, Minato. I am not my father. Naruto chuckled. She gasped, Naruto, oh Kami, you're alive. She quickly sat up and gave him a bone crushing, thankfully he still had his combat skin on, or that would have been painful. You're alive. I am, you are quite strong, were it not for my combat skin my bones would have been crushed. Naruto said, he was beginning to lose her air, I am losing my ability to breath. Oh sorry, it's just. Didact Guarding Light floated in, I have completed scans on Lady Tsunade, DNA scans say you are related to her, along with your father. If my calculations are correct, she is the mother of your father. What? Tsunade was about to speak when she was interrupted again. You did not tell him, did you? Naruto asked her. No. She looked down in shame, now that he is dead, I won't be able to. Don't hold your breath, Naruto said. In through the door was Minato himself, smiling at her, he heard everything through the door. So you're my mother, huh? Minato smiled at her. Tsunade was in tears, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Let's leave these two alone, this is between mother and child. Naruto told everyone. Akane was enjoying herself in the firing range, trying out every Forerunner hard light weapon she could find, just a few instructions from a warrior servant, and she was done happily shooting the targets down the range. This is awesome. She said, firing the light rifle. I'm keeping this. Feel free, we have many, and we can always make more to replace it. The warrior servant told her, chuckling at how cheerful she is. She said nothing as she continued to fire more hard light rounds down range. Naruto and Shion went back to their room, they were lying on their bed together with his hand on her belly, I cannot wait, my love. Our child. I know, Naruto, our child is going to be great. Shion said, her head on his chest. I love you. And I love you. He said, placing a kiss on her lips. Orochimaru is dead, I can't believe it, and my grandson did the deed. Yeah, Shion is pregnant with their first child, I'm going to be a grandfather, and you a great-grandmother. Minato said with a smile on his face. Oh Kami, this is really happening, all of this. So what do we do now? Tsunade asked her son. Well, this ship is heading back to Demon Country as we speak, the place is snowy like the land of snow. The robots in this ship gave me records of what had been happening the past decade, they are rising to be the most powerful nation in the world, all thanks to Naruto's efforts. Pride was evident on the father's voice. He is so much like Yusachi. Tsunade said. An exact copy of you even. Where is Akane? I didn't see her at all. Down at the firing range enjoying every weapon she's trying, the weapons these Forerunners have are amazingly advanced. So many, Kushina then? Tsunade asked with a smirk. Yup. The two of them laughed and continued to talk, having a lot to catch up. So we leave for Earth in a month or two. Tsunade will be staying behind as she wants to study our medical technology, fortifying her reputation as the best shinobi medic in the world. Mother and father are moving to Demon Country with the Uzukage's permission, thanks to our alliance. Overall things are good. Naruto said, still lying on the bed with Shion. You forgot our wedding is in a week's time. Shion smirked. Ah yes, our wedding, how could I forget that? Naruto huffed. Oh, don't feel so bad, Koi, you had a lot on your mind. Shion reassured him with a kiss, besides we have been together for a long time now. In 5 months we are going to be parents. Naruto brought her closer to him in an embrace, and I cannot wait. Story start. 1 month later. The time had come to leave for the solar system. The Spirit of Fire was already in orbit alongside the Fury's Ascent. On the surface Naruto and Shion were saying goodbye to their family. Be safe you two. Kushina told her son and her daughter-in-law. The two had married during the month, the wedding was grand as all royal weddings were. Accompanied by the Lord of the Land of Iron and Whirlpool, they congratulated the two. We will mother, father. Minato had decided to stay in the land of demons, wanting to be close once again to Kushina and his daughter. He was disappointed by how much Konoha had fallen, and when they heard that Danzo had taken the position of Hokage, he knew the village won't last for long now, with Whirlpool demanding compensation for lying to them about Naruto. Well, this is it, we will be sure to stay in touch, if you want to contact us, just use one of the consoles. Naruto told them, at which they nodded. Naruto and Shion then disappeared in a flash of blue light. The husband and wife reappeared in the ship's bridge, Spirit of Fire, stay close and prepare for slip space. Roger that, Fury's Ascent, preparing for slip space. A huge wormhole appeared at the front of the flagship, the behemoth went through with the UNSC ship right beside and disappeared in flash when the gate closed. Didact, we will be there in a few hours, we are after all jumping from the edge of the Milky Way galaxy. Guarding Light said. Understandable, Naruto nodded, he then looked at his wife, my love, go ahead and take a seat, I wouldn't want you to be stressed with carrying our child. I am not helpless, Naruto, but thank you for your concern. She smiled at him, she sat down as a hard light seat materialized. She grunted as she rested on the chair, 3 more months and we will be parents. I know that Didact knelt down and rubbed her belly, what do the Lifeworker Sentinels say? The girl, we are going to have a daughter. Shion said, it's to be expected anyway, everyone from my family had been mostly women anyway. He shook his head, it does not matter Shion, a daughter she will be beautiful, I just know it. It warms my circuits that you two will have a legacy. The Ancilla said. Only you, Guarding Light. Shion said with a chuckle. Earth space. Sierra 117 to UNSC Infinity, Captain Del Rio, do you copy? A man in a green armored suit was flying through a ship of the same class as the Fury's Ascent. Chief. It's Lasky, is that you? Affirmative sir, where's the captain? The chief, as he was called, replied. Fleekum didn't take too kindly to his abandoning you on Requiem, I'm afraid I'll have to do. Didact, we are approaching Earth, it seems that there is a ship of the same class as the Fury's Ascent approaching the planet. My father? Know him. He growled. Naruto Koi, what is it? Shion looked at him with worry. Shadow of Sundered Star is alive. And it seems he wishes to attack the Reclaimers, against the Librarian's wishes and against the Mantle. All warrior servants and Prometheans, prepare for combat, the Didact is in Earth and wishes to destroy the Reclaimers. The entire ship went into combat mode, its bow changing appearance as the armor began to extend, revealing hard light cannons. And the decomposer below. Spirit of Fire, once we come out of slipspace, rejoin your people, we are going into combat. Sir, detecting another slipspace rupture, it's the same size as the Forerunner ship. Another one. Lasky grimaced. He then paled as the ship came out of slipspace, but then his face went into confusion when they detected a UNSCF with it. Sir, UNSCF detected, it's the Spirit of Fire. An officer said, receiving a transmission from the other Forerunner ship. Reclaimers, we will assist you into defeating the Didact, I am Fury of Eternal Maelstrom, Novi Didact of the Preservers. Lasky took a deep breath, my god, more Forerunners. Continue attack on the enemy Didact ship, classify the other Didact as a friendly. All batteries fire at will. Naruto ordered in a calm voice, my love, it would be safer if you went inside. Shion shook her head, no, I am your wife Naruto. And my place is by your side. There is no arguing you, my love, and that is one of the many things I love about you. Naruto smiled down at her. Launch our dreadnoughts, do not get close to the Mantle's approach, we cannot afford to suffer any casualties, form a shield in front of the Fury's Ascent and charge all weapons. Yes, Didact. A Promethean acknowledged through the battle net. Forerunner dreadnought warships launched from the flagship and formed a hard light barrier in front of it, firing their weapons at the Mantle's approach. Didact, you fool. Do you not see the error of your ways, this is not what the Librarian would have wanted. The humans are our successors, they are Reclaimers. Naruto roared. You are a new race entirely, but you carry the Forerunner legacy with you, Novi Didact. Then you understand that the humans are the largest threat to this galaxy and the reclamation must be stopped. Didact replied. They are not, you know why they had to its shadow of sundered star. Even your wife understood it, this is not about the mantle no, this is about revenge for the death your children. So what if it is? Then there is no speaking to you any further. Lasky and the crew on board the Infinity heard the conversation, the voices roaring through the two large ships, exchanging fire and words. Keep firing and do not stop. Sir, it's like watching two gods battle it out. An officer said. I know. Lasky nodded, Jesus, what is going on? Dreadnought 5, return to the ship, you are heavily damaged. Naruto ordered. Yes, Didact. A warrior servant replied. We must not let him reach Earth, he will use the composer on them. Naruto clenched his fists, ancestors, give me strength. Shion stood up and reached for his hand, calming him down a bit. We will win Naruto Koi, I know it. Your words are like a soothing song to my ears my love. Naruto gave her a kiss, he then turned to his ancilla, prepare to fire the decomposer, set it to damage the mantle's approach, we must destroy that ship. Yes, Didact, preparing to fire the decomposer. Guarding light said. Ready to fire at your command. Fire. Sir, the Novi Didact ship is firing some kind of weapon at the enemy ship. Lasky looked at the Fury's Ascent firing what looks like a composer, only this seems to be used for anti-ship combat. The mantle's approach shields held for a while, until the large blue beam went through and begun damaging the ship's hull. Enemy Forerunner ship has lost shields. Chief. The Didact lost his shields, you are clear to go. Lasky ordered. All we can do now is wait. The Reclaimer will finish him off. Naruto said. Is that wise, Didact? A warrior servant asked him. I know he can do it, if the librarian placed so much trust in him, then we will as well. Naruto reassured him, all dreadnoughts, return to the ship, all we can do now is wait. They watched as the mantle's approach explode a few minutes later, the ship's hard light losing hold, causing the ship to collapse into the abyss caused by the composer. A hard light barrier could be seen for a few seconds before it too collapsed. It is done. Naruto said as he watched. The Fury's Ascent slowly approached the wreckage. Novi Didact, this Captain Thomas Lasky of the UNSC Infinity, I would like to thank you for your assistance. Your thanks is not needed, Reclaimer, I only did what was right. He sighed, although it still begs the question, why did the Didact not fire on us? Perhaps he did not want to fight his own kin. A warrior servant guessed. Perhaps my friend, perhaps. Naruto placed his arms around his pregnant wife, relieved that it is over for now. A Reclaimer vessel in Earth space approached a man floating in space, wearing green armor, its lights activated, shining on the man. Its rear doors, opening. Infinity Actual. Pelican 9-6er, we found him. Story start. The hangar crew of the UNSC Infinity were floored at the sight of Forerunner warrior servants walking out of the transport ship. Two people came out of it lastly, shorter than the rest. They were surprised to see a human-looking woman with blonde hair and a bulging stomach latched onto the arms on what looks like the Didact's armor. Her eyes were purple and glowing. Lasky and Palmer were there to meet them, approaching the pair, they introduced themselves. I'm Captain Thomas Lasky of the UNSC Infinity, and the woman beside me is Commander Sarah Palmer, leading the Spartan operations aboard this ship. Welcome. We thank you, Reclaimer. The Didact bowed and deactivated his helmet, showing his blonde hair and blue eyes. Do not be alarmed, we may look human, but we are a new race entirely created by my father, Bornsteller makes eternal lasting, also known as the ISO Didact. He has left the galaxy already to join his brethren, I am the last Didact. I see Lasky just looked at the man and then glanced at the living Forerunners carrying weapons standing guard by their Didact. This here is my wife, Shion. Pregnant with our child, the warrior servants with us are the last Prometheans loyal to the librarian and the Didact. This is historical for us, to see and meet a completely new race with living breathing Forerunners, the Covenant remnant from our last war, believe the Forerunners to be their gods. Lasky explained to them. Gods us. A Promethean snorted, I am a warrior servant, a soldier. I am no god. Light and darkness, calm yourself. The Didact ordered. The Promethean bowed, I apologize for my sudden outburst. Quite alright, it's actually quite good to hear something like that from you. Lasky chuckled. It appears you have encountered the Requiem, Shield 0001, homeworld of the Prometheans. The Didact noted. That's right, that's where the other Didact was encountered. Lasky said with nod. I thought he perished when the halo ray fired, apparently not. It seems his wife the librarian placed him to sleep instead. The Didact pondered. Steel yourselves, Captain, you might have to come back there soon. We are preparing an operation in 6 months to take it from the Covenant. That's good, we will assist you as well, hopefully to convince the Covenant of the error of their ways. He motioned his hands in a signal, in a few seconds a monitor came out of the ship. Ah, more reclaimers. I am 093 guarding light, Ancilla of the Furies Ascent. Another monitor, Lasky put out bluntly. You have met one of our monitors before, Captain? Didact asked. Yes, a couple of years ago, he tried to kill us. It seems went rampant, most unfortunate. Guarding light, worry not, I am a newer form of Ancilla, along with offensive bias who is not with us right now. The ISO Didact created me and ensured that I would not go into rampancy. Well, that's reassuring. Indeed, with your permission we would like to supply this ship with our medical technology. That's great. Lasky perked up, thank you. No need for gratitude, Captain, we are simply following the librarian's wishes. It is her you should thank. Didact smiled. Shion finally spoke up. The Didact straightened, ah yes, we wish to get some rest, for her mostly, she is pregnant after all. Oh of course, Commander Palmer if you please. Right this way folks. The female Spartan gestured them to follow her. 3 months later. AHHH. Naruto, you did this to me. Shion screamed in the newly upgraded medical bay of the Infinity. I love you will be fine. Shut the hell up. If I could stand right now I would rip you to pieces. Geez, she's got quite the temper and her powers aren't helping either. Roland the ship's AI stood beside Captain Lasky outside the medical room. The captain just sighed, women, no matter what species they are, they will always be confusing. Indeed. A warrior servant nodded with them. Alright Lady Shion, just push one last time. The doctor said. Raya. She roared, her eyes glowing brighter than ever. In seconds a baby's cry could be heard. Congratulations you two, it's a girl. They cleaned the baby and gave her clean linen wraps to cover her. She had bright blonde hair like her father's and purple eyes like her mother's. Hikari, my little Hikari. Light of eternal song. Shion said. Sorry about screaming at you like that. She gave her husband an apologetic look. No harm don't my love. Naruto smiled at her, he looked at his new daughter and picked her up, you are beautiful, the firstborn preserver. You will do great things my daughter, you will be great. That she will be. Shion sighed in exhaustion, sweat all over her face. We are parents. I can't believe it. We are aren't we? He continued to gaze at the sleeping form of his daughter. Congratulations Didact. Lasky walked in with a warrior servant, he smiled at them. Thank you Captain, I am truly the happiest man in the galaxy right now. He sighed happily, his daughter taking hold of his finger. Our Spartans are in the war games right now, perhaps some time later you would like to observe them. Maybe offer some pointers. Lasky offered. Your offer is kind Captain, I accept, but for now I will be with my family, my warrior servants and Prometheans in the meantime will help them. Thank you Didact. Lasky nodded in gratitude and left the room, leaving the family to themselves. He looked down at his daughter and then to his wife, Light of eternal song, you are my pride and joy, my daughter. Both of you are my lives. Story start. Aboard the Furies Ascent was a small room with a baby's crib inside, there was a small blonde baby girl sleeping. She looks like you Shion. Naruto said, his arms around his wife's waist. She does doesn't she? Shion placed her head on his chest. Our baby girl, our little Hikari, Light of eternal song. She will go a great many things. Naruto stated, and we will be there by her side, all the way. I will do my very best to give her the one thing I could never have when I was child. The love of a parent. Shion looked at her husband with a sad look, don't be like that Naruto. I know Naruto laid his head on her scalp, despite having the ISO Didact as my father, I never really experienced love before I met you. It was all training and being raised to be the next Didact. It was when I met you I became truly happy, I truly felt love. The warmth, the closeness, the feeling. Naruto. I love you, you gave me a daughter, you gave me a family. Tears began to trickle down his cheek, he kissed her scalp. You two are the best things that has ever happened to me. Naruto I love you, and I will always love you. Shion wrapped her arms around his waist, she looked at him, giving him a loving smile. Remember all those years ago? The day you saved me, I called you my knight in literally shining armor. Naruto laughed as he wiped away his tears, yeah, I was shiny wasn't I? Beware she gave him a loving kiss, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you more. He kissed back. Hikari made a sound, moving her arms in her sleep. Shion gently caressed her cheek, our baby girl. The Prometheans and warrior servants were actually impressed at how the Spartans conduct their war games. Their enhanced strengthening from the implants they received were exactly as the librarian had hoped for humanity. Impressive, they conduct their training well. They even have simulators in how to combat the flood. But we do. Lasky said, it's imperative we know how to combat them, they already know how to use both Covenant and human weapons. Light and Darkness nodded. Yes, it was disastrous when we fought them long ago. Our ships hijacked and turned against us as they infected more of our people. Had we listened to your ancestors' warnings, we might have stood a better chance. Resorting us to use the rings, but somehow they survived. So was it true, because of the flood, the ancient humans fought in a war against your people? Roland asked as he appeared on a pedestal. Yes, for over 1,000 years we fought, all because of a misunderstanding the flood made, infecting our worlds, so that your ancestors would make haste and cleanse them quickly. In the end we realized too late on why they cleansed our worlds, we were too late. Light and Darkness said. Only a few pockets of flood are left thankfully, and we are doing our best to flush them out and eliminate them. Lasky folded his arms and looked at the war games going on. The Didact, by the way, has sent your people a gift that is arriving in a few hours. It was the flagship of the Lord of Admirals for Athencho. It is a human-built ship, so it should be returned to its owners. Lasky looked at the Promethean surprised, an ancient human warship. I thought all technology was lost after the war. We thought so too, but surveys on your once proud capital Cherim Hacker shown us otherwise. There were underground facilities and shipyards with many ships undamaged. The Didact is currently using them to build our naval fleet on his birth world. We have no name for the world yet. One of our rings we have decommissioned and converted into a small colony and shipyard. One of your ships, the Spirit of Fire, was repaired there. That is one of using a halo ring, I guess. Lasky whistled. I am still surprised that the Spirit of Fire was still out there. And Earth was not the birthplace of humanity. It was not. Cherim Hacker was the capital of your ancient empire. It was Earth that the librarian reintroduced your race to, in order to conserve your people before the rings were fired. That is news to me. Lasky sighed. Your ancestors had quite the empire, they had the military to rival our people. The ship we are sending you is over 20 kilometers in length, the largest ship your people had built. Damn, and I thought the Infinity was big already. Lasky sighed once more. Worry not, and we hope that you would use the ship to honor the legacy of the Lord of Admirals. I personally respected him as a fellow warrior when we fought, and he was a powerful warrior in his own right. Light and Darkness looked on at the war games. Your Spartans are truly a force to be reckoned with if they fought the Didact's knights. But they are. Lasky chuckled. I hear that you are in a relationship with the commander of the Spartans. I believe Sarah Palmer is her name. Light and Darkness stated bluntly. 3 months later. Pelican dropship. Well, I'm not gonna complain. An African-American Spartan said. A Spartan with black buzz-cut hair said as he read a news article on a holographic tablet. So tell me more about Rio. What else did I miss? Oh man, the place is a mess. I mean, too many Covenant asylum seekers, all pinned up. The African-American replied. Yeah, DeMarco said it was crazy. The Spartan nodded. He snorted. Hell, it could have been worse. I mean, look what nearly happened to New Phoenix. If it weren't for that friendly Forerunner ship, did you see the size of that ship? Not to mention the ship they gave us, well, more or less returned if the reports are right. I mean, an ancient human ship 100 kilometers long. He then continued his story. We even caught this one Singeli trying to detonate a Havoc nuke. Hoya, give it a rest. DeMarco snorted. We all know you were at the other side of town when we caught that hinge head. Oh yeah? Hoya smirked. And where were you, DeMarco? Well, Madsen and me. We were just making sure the ladies of Rio de Janeiro felt safe and secure. He gave out a shit-eating grin. That's right, Madsen nodded. Fireteam Majestic doing a little community outreach. Yeah. He bumped fists with DeMarco and laughed. Hoya waved them off and headed for the cockpit. Pedro Grant, the only female Spartan in Fireteam Majestic, looked at Thorn. You have people in New Phoenix, didn't you? Thorn nodded. I do, my grandma and some relatives. Thanks to that other Didact, they were saved. Hey Thorn, you should take a look at this. Hoya called him and pointed out the cockpit. There she is, man, Infinity. And looks like our friendly neighborhood Didact brought a new ship with him. He pointed at the 20 kilometers long ancient human ship. Isn't that the same class as the one they gave us? Yep, looks like he is taking command of it from now on. Are you sure you want to give me command of the Fury's Ascent? Shion asked her husband. I am sure, Shion, I only want the best for you. Besides, we have already placed upgrades on the Ascension. Naruto reassured her. That's not what I mean, Kibito. Shion pouted. He gave her a kiss to the lips and then on the forehead. You will make a great commander, besides guarding light will help you should you need it. Now I must go, I need to assist the reclaimers in assaulting Requiem. Be safe, my love. She said. She was holding Hikari. I will. He bent down and gently kissed his daughter on the forehead. He then boarded a transport craft and went down to the smaller warship. Your husband must really love you for him to give you command of the most powerful warship in the galaxy. A deck crew said. He spoils me too much. Shion sighed but smiled. Thanks to her husband, she is now the most powerful woman in the galaxy, commanding the Fury's Ascent. Story start. A Pelican dropship landed in one of the large hangars of the Infinity, touching down while opening its rear hatch for Fireteam Majestic. They stepped and immediately walked down to the deck. "Hey, check it out, Forerunner soldiers." Hoya pointed to 3 warrior servants casually chatting while having their weapons with them. "Ah, Fireteam Majestic," Roland said, appearing through a pedestal in the hangar. "Yeah, that's us." DeMarco nodded in confirmation. "I'm Roland, ship's AI at your service, on the line Spartans. Someone will be along to show you around shortly." He did a casual salute and disappeared. "Alright Majestic, form up." DeMarco ordered. They lined up and waited. He immediately spotted a female Spartan and a blonde woman with a floating carriage behind her. "Whoa, take a look at those two," he whispered to Madsen. "Oh my." Madsen tried moving forward only to be blocked by his fireteam leader. "Hey, I saw them first." He approached the 2 women and greeted them casually. "Hi there." "Well hello," the brunette greeted back. The blonde woman with her just smiled and bowed back. "Spartan. Paul DeMarco, I lead Fireteam Majestic," he replied in slight boasting tone. "Wow, whole fireteam huh?" She smirked and walked up to him. "I didn't catch your name." "Sarah Palmer, Commander Sarah Palmer, I lead all the fireteams aboard the Infinity," she said with a serious yet annoyed tone. DeMarco gulped and went back in line. "Fireteam Majestic Commander on deck." They all straightened themselves and gave her a salute. "If you are wondering who I am Shion, wife of the Didact." She bowed once more. She then heard crying in the floating carriage. She picked up the little bundle and showed them. "And this is my daughter, Hikari. Also known by our warrior servants as Light of Eternal Song. Commander, I must take leave and return to my ship." Of course Lady Shion Palmer nodded and watched the woman and her daughter teleport back to her ship, surprising the fireteam a bit. "Ah shit." DeMarco began to sweat, still saluting. At ease Spartan, she walked a bit inspecting the new fireteam. She looked at Thorn, who seems to be only real disciplined Spartan in the fireteam. "Follow me, deck is this way." She walked away signaling Majestic to follow her. Hoya began to laugh. "You flirted with the Didact's wife." "Shut it." DeMarco hissed. Thorn on the other hand, just looked at the hangar with wonder. This was the first time he was in a ship such as this. He can't wait to be inside a Forerunner ship or the ancient human ship the Didact gave them, which will be joining them for the operation. Roland then made his voice known through the comm system. "Attention all hands, prep for slipspace jump." The Infinity along with the Didact ship the Ascension and the ship of the same class the UNSC Lord of Admirals went through slipspace holes. "This is the latest stuff we got on Covenant fleet locations, Captain, pretty standard positioning really." Roland snorted. The bridge's door opened revealing a tall but beautiful woman. "Commander Palmer, things get boring in Spartan Town." Thomas greeted and smiled at her. "Captain Lasky." She greeted back. "You know I come here for my peace and quiet. I'm not interrupting nap time, am I?" "On the contrary, show starts at 0500. Thomas said, looking at the tactical display of Covenant ships. Sarah looked at him skeptically. "We've waited 6 months, we could spend another 48 hours running the teams through the wargames." He turned and looked at her with a serious face. "Navy disagrees with Spartans this one, not when you all got Forerunner warrior servant training. They want you ready now." Sarah walked in donning her white armor. "Ladies and other Spartans, listen up. Your new workplace is a planet first discovered by humanity 6 months ago called Requiem." Multiple Spartans including Majestic lined up for armor equipping. "Some of the old hands here know what you're in for. The rest of you, you're due an education." Thorn stepped onto the equipper, his feet locking in to form shoe-like armor. The armor locked in and he stretched out his arms into the gauntlets, locking as well. The equipper then carried him for the chest and back plating armor to attach. After that the shoulder plates locked into pals. "The eggheads upstairs want to set up research bases, but they can do that, we need to fend off some Covenant squatters. The Covies, they believe this is the home of one of their gods." "I am not a god." Light and Darkness barged in, gritting his teeth. "Apologies, you may carry on." He walked out of the armory. Sarah rolled her eyes. "As I was saying, the way I see it, if those freaks want to meet their god, then it is our duty to help them along." The Infinity along with the Ascension and her sister ship the Lord of Admirals jumped into Requiem space. The Infinity in turn rammed an RCS-class armored cruiser, completely destroying it, while the latter came out of unscathed. The 2 ancient human ships began to open fire along with the Infinity. "Infinity, Ascension and the Lord of Admirals clear of slipspace, Captain Lasky." Roland notified him. Thomas nodded. "Lieutenant Austin, the word is given." The Infinity then opened lower bays, revealing to be frigates. They released their clamps and dropped into space to engage the enemy Covenant ships. The Ascension fired its main cannon, destroying a CCS class in a single hit. All Spartan fireteams are prepped and ready for launch. Chatter through the battle net was heard as Pelican dropships began to lift off from the Infinity. "Didact, how are you doing in your end?" Thomas asked through the battle net. Naruto smirked. Quite fine, Captain. My Prometheans and warrior servants will be launching to Requiem shortly. The frequency is different, so we won't be able to teleport down there until we secure a foothold. You are the operation commander, so we will follow you. Roger that, Didact, and thank you. Requiem corridor is clear. Repeat, Requiem corridor is clear. A Pelican pilot said, with Forerunner drop craft following them transporting their Prometheans and warrior servants, escorted by UNSC broadsword fighter craft. Majestic on approach, hang on. We're going inside. The Pelican pilot informed them. Here we go, Majestic. Thorn said excitedly. Multiple Pelicans and Forerunner transports flew in through the debris unscathed, almost their people. Another pilot said. On the ground inside Requiem, multiple battles were being waged at different locations. The Prometheans and warrior servants were battling the Covenant supported by the Knights and Crawlers. It seems the Didact left some of his guards, or he used a composer on some reclaimer installations. A warrior servant commented, firing his binary rifle. None of that matters right now, we need to help the reclaimers take this world, it is the will of the librarian. A Promethean said, firing his light rifle. The Covenant did not even know they were fighting Forerunners, they just assumed they were the enemy as they were with the humans. That's right, they don't know that we are their so-called gods. The warrior servant chuckled. Can you please stop saying that, sharp eye of truth? It disturbs me to no end that they worship us. Light in darkness growled. Where is your sense of humor? Sharp eye muttered. Sir. A UNSC Marine approached Light in darkness, Covenant is jamming our communications. Troublesome, they at least know what they are doing. Sharp eye grumbled, any knowledge of where the jammers are? I am assuming it is one of our jammers they are using. Possibly, the Marine nodded, our Spartan fire teams are nearing the Covenant outposts just up ahead, I think the jammers are in there as well. Very well, continue the assault, we must regroup with the Spartans. Light in darkness ordered. Yes, sir. The Marine saluted and went back to his squad. Sharp eye smiled before returning fire, the reclaimers have fire in them, just like the war before. I do not wish to talk about the war. Light in darkness said, that war should have never happened in the first place. He then aimed his light rifle and fired at an Ungoi. The Covenant are using these smaller aliens as fodder, disgraceful. Sharp eye scoffed. Light in darkness kept firing, but reminded him, we can worry about that later, Sharp eye, we need to move up. Another Ungoi dropped dead as the hardlight round struck him on the say. Status on our teams on the ground. Naruto asked a female warrior servant operating the communication console. The ancient human ship was just as advanced as any Forerunner ship before, and the controls were simple to understand, as their languages were similar. The Covenant are using our old jammers on the ground, I cannot get a precise location of our squads and the Spartan fire teams. Naruto narrowed his eyes, then it is all up to them to accomplish them, keep firing the enemy ships. We need to at least gain control of the space. Are there any signs of Covenant reinforcements? The warrior servant shook her head, none. Didact, this seems to be the only one we are engaging. Very well, forward batteries keep firing. Sir, Fireteam Crimson and Majestic seems to have disabled the jammers, Crimson found a Forerunner device, they will be bringing it back to the Infinity soon, Majestic on the other hand, is pinned down by a couple of Knights and Crawlers. The same Marine from before informed the two Forerunners. Light in darkness, we will assist Majestic, Crimson seems to be doing well. The Marine nodded and turned to his squad, on it sir, you heard him folks, we are assisting Majestic. Fireteam Majestic were currently dug in behind rocks, fending off relentless attacks from crawlers. Wasn't this planet supposed to have been cleared already? Grant reloaded her DMR and replied, that was the idea, yeah. These things just pop up whenever they want to. Madsen destroyed the last crawler. I mean, how is that even fair, huh? The knight decloaked and fired, Madsen look out. Throne shouted, said Spartan got hit on the shoulder. Multiple knights appeared in the area and opened fired. Hoya being the macho man, he was moved up with his shotgun and shot the knight that hit Mads, come on. He fired again, hitting another knight in. Hoya, get back to cover. DeMarco tried to order him. The knight got up close and roared at Hoya. Hoya. Story start. Two Pelican dropships made their way back to the Infinity. They both touched down inside the ship's hangar, coming out was Fireteam Majestic, Madsen was the first to walk out clutching his right arm. Sarah looked at them, Majestic. Madsen just waved her off as he walked away. She spotted Hoya on a stretcher, Hoya. It's gonna take a lot more to kill me, Commander. He grinned at the female Spartan. She then walked up to DeMarco, what happened to Hoya? DeMarco scoffed, Hoya happened to Hoya, if he would just followed orders, he'd be fine. Armor Bay's waiting team leader. Sarah frowned. She shook her head watching them walk back to the armor bay. Commander Palmer. Thorn called out, she turned her head to see Thorn looking at the other Pelican that just arrived, coming out of it were researchers escorting a strange device. What's that? Sarah smiled, Crimson Team scored the first grab, whatever it is it's got the eggheads all tingly, our Forerunner buddies will be arriving to help us out with it. The device then began to react strangely as its restraints flew off, it then emitted a pulse wave that affected the whole ship. What the hell? Sarah muttered. The wave reached the bridge while Lasky was examining a datapad. Roland, what's happening? Multiple decks are reporting loss of power, sir. Roland replied while nearly being affected by the wave. At the engine room on the line. Lasky ordered. Dr. Glassman, Infinity's losing power. Lasky said over the comm. So I've noticed, Captain. Glassman was frantically working trying to fix the situation. Then he began to float in the air. Why? Artificial gravity is offline as well, sir. The Infinity then lost its engines, Requiem's gravity then began affecting her, we're being pulled towards the planet. I need answers. Lasky called out. Glassman grabbed onto the screens to prevent from flying off even further, while tries to work on the problem. You take engines, built by aliens, 100,000 years ago, and hire a war criminal to bolt them onto the ship. You can't expect predictable behavior. Sarah, using the magnetic clamps in her Mjolnir Gen 2 armor, approached the Forerunner device affecting the ship. Roland, what is this damn thing? Unknown Spartan, we're still waiting for our Forerunner buddies as you call them to come over, they're still mopping up back at Requiem, while the Didact is overseeing ground operations at the moment. Roland replied over the comm. Sarah then ran up to the device and simply kicked it. With that, the artificial gravity came back online and its engines roared back to life. Few minutes later. Thomas and Glassman arrived at the hangar to look at the artifact. Status update, Sarah. Further attempts at physical persuasion haven't had much effect, damn thing stuck fast. Sarah then turned to Glassman, she's all yours, doctor, we should wait for the Prometheans and warrior servants to arrive. Glassman simply approached it and touched the device, making gold energy react to his touch. Whoa, hey, look at this. He grinned and went to another spot and touched it once more, I've never seen anything like it. His left hand began to glow with the energy. Dr. Glassman. Thomas called out to him as Glassman began to glow and was being pulled into the device in a digital-like manner. Ah. Why? Glassman tried to fight as he was being pulled in, Thomas grabbed his hand trying to pull him out, but to no avail. Tom? Sarah shouted and pushed the captain out of the way, Glassman disappearing into the device. So you're saying, Dr. Glassman was sucked into this? Naruto asked them, trying to confirm it. That's right, Didact. Thomas nodded. It's a transportation device, designed to relocate troops from tow ship ground and so forth. As for this model, we know little of it as it was personally designed by the Didact himself. Naruto said, touching the device, as he tried to locate the poor doctor. So he is still alive? Thomas asked him. The Didact nodded, yes, on the planet, although where, I do not know. Your superiors are sending someone to help. That's right, Dr. Catherine Halsey, our specialist on Forerunner technology, she was the one who installed the engines on this ship. Impressive. Naruto raised his eyebrows, she then most likely knows more than me, the devices here in Requiem were not approved by the Ecumene Council long ago, so my knowledge on these ones are extremely limited, besides the standard issue weapons the knights and crawlers are using. Sarah sighed, so even you don't exactly know how the devices in this shield world work. Naruto gave them an apologetic look, I'm sorry, the Didact here was using illegally crafted devices during the wars 100,000 years ago, and he abused his power. Creating the composer and many of the devices we found on this planet without the knowledge of the Ecumene Council, claiming he was doing all of it for the good of the galaxy, while his methods were questionable. Then we'll just have to wait for our specialist. Lasky said, Sarah on the other hand groaned. The Sahara-class heavy prowler deckloaked and approached the Infinity's hangar, Roland then spoke up in the comm. Captain Lasky, the captain of the Aladdin requests permission to bring the prisoner aboard. Last chance to change your mind. Sarah whispered to the captain. It's too late for that, Sarah, we need to know what's going on. Thomas replied. The female Spartan frowned, she was locked up for a reason. She is your specialist, and yet she is a war criminal. Naruto questioned them, his face behind his helmet showing confusion. With him was sharp eye of truth and light in darkness. Lasky whispered, I'll tell you later. He then spoke up, permission granted, Roland. The Aladdin opened its doors and lowering a ramp, 4 prison guards escorting an elderly-looking woman with already gray hair and cuffed hands. They approached them, the woman could not help but look at the 3 Forerunners with them. Sarah signaled Madsen and DeMarco to move up. Dr. Halsey, thank you for coming. Lasky greeted her. Catherine raised her cuffed hands, I'm not walking around the ship I built with my hands cuffed. Lasky nodded to Madsen and removed the restraints. She looked back to the captain with a straight face, show me the artifact. They approached the device still in the same hangar where it clamped itself to. Rather dark for a proper investigation. Catherine noted the hangar with its lights out. Random fluctuations all over the ship, Doctor. Power still completely out at ground zero. I'll get additional lighting set up ASAP. Lasky replied. That would be good. Didact, you say your knowledge on the devices on Requiem specifically are not to your knowledge. Naruto shook his head, no they are not doctor, many of the equipment here were created behind the knowledge of the Ecumene Council, and therefore they are illegal. We do not know entirely besides this one here, all we know is that it is used for transportation, and our missing doctor is somewhere in Requiem, its other functions unfortunately we do not know. The doctor turned to Thomas, have there been any other reactions since? Since what happened to Dr. Glassman, no. The captain replied. She approached the device, hovering her hand over it. Careful. Thomas said. Catherine gave the captain a deadpan look, I'm not Henry Glassman, captain. Trust me, doctor. Thomas turned to Sarah with a smirk, I know who you are. Yes, and I see you've decided I rate 3 of the new model. The doctor commented. Captain Lasky asked for the best. DeMarco said, grinning alongside his best friend Madsen. And yet she replied, causing Sarah to frown. She then touched the device, causing it to glow. What is doctor? Naruto asked her. She looked at the Novi Didact engine room. Inside the tram transporting them to the engine room, DeMarco looked to his best friend, why doth he having us guard some old lady? Sharp Eye and Light and Darkness looked at the Spartans, also curious as to who this woman is. She's bad news man. Madsen replied, mad scientist stuff. She created the original Spartans. Master Chief. No way DeMarco widened his eyes. Yeah Madsen said, story goes she kidnapped a bunch of kids. Light and Darkness tensed at that, he had a good idea on what she used the children before, Sharp Eye placed a hand on his shoulder and shook his head. He looked at the Didact who was silent, but he could tell that he was upset by it, children in Forerunner society are extremely precious to the people. DeMarco looked at Madsen with a questioning look, what? What would an old lady like her do with a bunch of kids? Madsen was about to speak when Catherine looked at them, first we taught them how to be silent. She replied as she turned to Sarah, then we taught them how to be Spartans. Sarah on the other hand simply glowered at her. They entered the engine room revealing the Forerunner reactor, that's a dreadnought engine. Sharp Eye said. You know this kind of engine? Madsen turned to Sharp Eye. I'm no builder, but it's what we use to power our dreadnoughts currently docked in the Fury's Ascent. As to how it works, like I told you, I'm no builder, just a solder. Sharp Eye replied causing Madsen to chuckle. I hear you man. Roland? Thomas asked the ship's AI. Engine rooms on lockdown captain. All systems operating nominally. Roland said, watching the doctor beginning to tinker with the systems, you know, I can fly infinity without human aid. Thomas smirked, don't worry Roland, we'll take her off your hands very shortly. And now we're letting the war criminal touch things. Sarah scoffed. I can type for her if that'll make you feel better. Thomas offered. The female Spartan turned to him, it would help. The captain sighed, she installed these engines. No one in the UNSC understands them as well as she does. Catherine continues to examine the engine when a pulse runs all the way through the room, startling the Spartans and the warrior servants, they point their weapons. Hey. Sarah calls out to her. The doctor turns around to face the Spartan commander, Sarah, then orders the Spartans and the warrior servants to lower their weapons. The artifact, Forerunner, is talking to your engines, also Forerunner, but it is also speaking to these other systems as well. Catherine informed them. Health systems, some electrical, lower deck life support. Thomas looked at the screens. But only the engines are Forerunner, the rest is human. Naruto said. So the device in the hangar is a transportation device, but also meant for direct communication. The doctor nodded, indeed, and the artifact is reaching out to them. And it and your engines are transmitting. Requiem Sharp Eye, something besides the Covenant is down there. You came here to study the planet and yet something on the planet is studying you. Catherine looked at them with a serious look. On Requiem, multiple Tsunade of the Covenant remnants were fast at work around a shrine-looking object. Faster. Move as if the Didact himself were watching. A Tsunade officer ordered his troops in their native tongue. The officer turns around to see a Tsunade wearing a different helmet and a white hand painted over his armor and shoulder guard, he bowed to the Tsunade, Jalaim Dama. I did not expect the Didact's hand so soon. Infinity's arrival has advanced my schedule. Rise, Jack. July said as he gazed upon the shrine. Jack and July walked to the shrine, the latter examining it, we are still preparing, shipmaster we still have yet to be able to activate the shrine. You are prepared now, brother. July replies, both of them turning around, bring the artifact's gift. A pair of zealots bring in a human, revealing to be Henry Glassman. He offers his knowledge in exchange for his life. I am willing to accept his offer for now. Glassman on the other hand began to sweat, fearing for his life. Special chapter start. Oh my goodness she is just beautiful. Kushina squealed, looking at the video screen where Shion is holding her daughter. Isn't she? Naruto of course was still acting in a very Didact way. Shion stuck her tongue out. Well, he was raised by some almighty ancient race. Kushina rolled her eyes. But I bet he is so happy. More than you know, mom. I mean, he broadcasted to the entire fleet and probably all of Earth. This is a great day. This is the day my beloved daughter has come to the world. I swear even if he acts all serious he still acts so childish in a way. Shion laughed. Kushina sighed. Minato did the same thing when he found out I was pregnant, just in the village instead. Like father like son, I guess. Shion said. Her daughter started shifting under the clothing wrap. Oh, look at you, you're so cute and you even have your father's nose. Shion cooed at her daughter. By the way, what is Akane up to? Well. Die pervert. Die. Akane roared, firing her light rifle at a certain white-haired super pervert. Wearing nothing but a towel around her body, Jiraiya had the bright idea to go ahead and peep on her while she was taking a bath. Oh Kami. Have mercy. I'm sorry. Jiraiya cried out while running away from a rampaging redhead, wielding all kinds of hard light weapons. I was just giving you a compliment, Akane. Compliment my ass. None shall escape my wrath. Akane roared once more, the light rifle in her hands firing in its more powerful semi-auto firing setting. Eat hard light pervert. I told you I'm a super. Shut up. Akane interrupted him, firing another round at the super pervert. The Prometheans left behind in Demon Country could not help but laugh at the pitiful excuse for a man. Demon Country just got more interesting, hasn't it? A Promethean asked his fellow Promethean. Indeed it has. The second Promethean replied. Jiraiya again? Shion asked, hearing the gunshots. Yeah, Kushina sighed. I swear that man never learns. You cannot teach an old dog new tricks, mom, it's impossible. Well, in this case an old perverted dog. Shion chuckled. So where is Naruto right now? Kushina asked her daughter-in-law. In a mission with the UNSC, he's helping them establish research bases in Requiem for study, apparently the Covenant remnants wanted to. Shion replied. She then heard her daughter cry a bit. Oh, you're hungry? She placed a blanket over her shoulder, breastfeeding her. Kushina smiled, watching her feed, helping the reclaimers. Well, that's good. What of the Tsunade the UNSC are allied with? Too busy in a civil war at the moment. But hopefully with us we can help them flush out the Covenant. Shion replied. She smiled down at her daughter, at least she's going to be a healthy eater. That's good, I can tell Hikari will grow up nicely. Kushina said, smiling at her granddaughter currently feeding. Tsunade-sama. You should not be drinking at this hour. Shizune protested, watching her teacher drink 4 bottles of sake in one go. Irasei. Shizune said, her cheeks reddening from the excessive drinking. You're already drunk. Shizune gave out a sigh of defeat, there was no winning. Stand still, pervert. The voice of Akane roared through the streets. Shizune peeked out to see her teacher's granddaughter wearing nothing but a bath towel firing a light rifle at Jiraiya. She sighed once more, just another regular day. I said I was sorry. Jiraiya cried out, dodging the endless shots of hardlight rounds aimed at him. You will be forgiven once I am satisfied, now hold still. Akane's red hair began to turn into 9 tails, like that of the Kyuubi. What have I done to deserve this? The super pervert cried. Minato walked into his mother's office. Has she been drinking again? Unfortunately, Shizune said, I swear it's been always like this. By the way, Jiraiya peeped on your daughter taking a bath and is now in a rampage trying to kill the pervert. Again, Minato face-palmed. Despite him being my sensei, he will never learn. Have you seen Kushina? She's talking to Shion through a video caller. You should go to her. Hikari is so adorable. Shizune squealed. Alright, I'll see you later. Minato waved at her. So what is Earth like? Kushina asked. It's really beautiful, a lot of people already live there so they expanded to a lot of colonies. Oh hey dad. Shion spotted Minato sitting beside Kushina. Hey Shion, how's Hikari? A healthy little baby girl, she's also a healthy eater. Minato smiled, that's great. So how are things with you and Naruto over there? Good, we're doing good. Naruto is in a mission right now at Requiem, I don't know when he'll be back, but he has been keeping touch at least. Shion replied, nursing Hikari who was still currently feeding. Is Akane still trying to kill the super pervert? Yet all in the name of research, I swear that will get him killed someday. Minato sighed. Shion rolled her eyes, I doubt that will let him stop his research. During our honeymoon we had to put up guards everywhere in case he tried to peep on us. Unbelievable. The older blonde muttered. Have you learned your lesson yet? Akane shrieked, still firing her light rifle. Never. Jiraiya roared defiantly, he will never stop his research. It just makes things easier for me. She fired once more, this time hitting Jiraiya on the ass. He flew up into the air, yelping in pain and falling off a cliff at the edge of the town. Demon Country's capital was on a mountain, thus the cold climate and high cliffs. Ai hoo 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 hooey. Jiraiya screamed as fell off the cliff. Don't you think that was a bit much, Lady Akane? A warrior servant asked her, watching Toad Sage fall down. The FFT, as if Akane snorted, it will take more than that to kill the hermit. Naruto was concerned, an essence of the librarian was inside the shield world and Covenant Remnant has the location in their possession, it is also the location of the shield world's control systems. With a push of a button he can send the planet to collide with a star. He will need to be careful, but right now, a reclaimer is missing somewhere on the planet. Any signs of Glassman? None. Didact. A warrior servant shook his head, there are still many jammers located within the shield world, the only ones deactivated are the ones we disabled and where the reclaimers have begun to set up their research bases. Naruto sighed. In content at least, I see at least they are making progress into the research of the Didact's equipment. How he got to build all of this without the Ekumene's knowledge is beyond me. We will most likely never know. Didact, Shadow of Sundered Star was a very cunning man. A female warrior servant put in. I will retire to my quarters, let me know of any other alerts that come up. He sat up and made his way out the bridge. Yes, Didact. The two warrior servants bowed and returned to their work. So how is my best husband in the whole universe? Shion playfully asked. I am doing well, the reclaimers have already begun their research on the planet. Naruto answered, he was currently in his room, sitting on his bed talking to his wife through the video screen. That's good, Hikari is currently asleep at the moment, but you can still see her. Shion gestured to the floating crib beside her. Naruto smiled brightly, ah my little girl, how is the feeding? I am getting used to it, she is a healthy eater, so we won't have to worry about that. Shion replied, her face begun to frown as she looked at her husband with worry, and how about you? You look like you haven't slept in days. I haven't, I have been too busy as of late, a missing reclaimer somewhere on the planet. Not to mention the Covenant has in their possession the shrine to the librarian. Shion frowned even further, you are going to bed mister, I will be there in a few days, once talks with the UNSC finish here. Yes dear. Naruto relented, he did not want to get into an argument with her, he never wins. Roland, bring up Rec 153 and Sarah said, in the Infinity's bridge, along with Thomas looking over their tactical holo table. I assume you'd like to start before the tragedy? Roland asked, replaying a holographic video of a pelican getting shot down. Hassel team just got hit running supplies to Copernicus. Sarah frowned at the holo table. Copernicus. A science base. Looking for the librarian AI the Master Chief found? Lasky asked. Instead, they found something else. Sarah pressed a holographic button, zooming into a Singeli leading the Covenant on the ground. Lasky stared at the hologram. Jalimdama. Yeah, because Requiem wasn't messed up enough. Sarah scoffed. Delay walked up to Glassman, who was currently working with mediocre equipment, strapped to his chest were multiple high-yield plasma explosives and Jack holding a leash to his neck as insurance to his cooperation. Dr. Glassman. Progress. The shipmaster and leader of their faction asked in his native tongue. For the love of I keep telling you people, I don't speak Singeli. The doctor said, in a tone that showed panic. The shipmaster growled in irritation and spoke to him in broken English, progress. Glassman sighed, I've got to have better equipment. More materials here, you're giving me two sticks to rub together, technologically speaking. He stood up approaching July, only for Jack to pull the leash around his neck for him to sit down. The two Singeli growled at him, okay, no need for a translation there. The doctor stood back up and pointed to the shrine, you're saying there's an actual, living forerunner inside this thing? Huh. I wonder what she could tell us. Delay walked to the shrine, his mandibles into some sort of grin, speaking once more in Singeli, I know what the librarian will say, Glassman. She will tell us where all things sacred are hidden in this galaxy. Ships, weapons, bounties beyond our imagining. Many of his Singeli brethren raised their swords in cheers, cheering for the Didact's hand to lead them into glory. And she will tell us how to make those miracles our own. The Singeli began chanting his name Dhamma all around, raising their swords high. 3 days later. Didact, a Spartan fireteam have retrieved an item, from the images it seems to be an Ancilla storage device. A warrior servant called in through a speaker. I will be there immediately. Naruto got up from his bed, his combat skin immediately attached to his body as soon as he got up. He made his way to the bridge, many warrior servants and Prometheans greeting him, report. They recovered an Ancilla storage device. And have immediately placed it into a lab for Dr. Halsey to examine. Naruto nodded, how long until my wife arrives? Guarding Light will also need to examine this, he knows more about Ancillas than anyone. Within a few hours. Didact. Good, inform me when my wife arrives, I am going to the Infinity myself. Naruto suddenly appeared within the hangar of the Infinity, startling some of the soldiers. He turned to them, where is the captain? He's in the lab with Dr. Halsey, I'll show you to him. Gratitude. Naruto nodded with a small bow and followed the marine. Inside the lab. The device suddenly disassembled itself, its parts floating into the air like there was a lack of gravity within the room. Doc, this thing looks kinda familiar. Catherine nodded, yes, it's very similar to an AI matrix. But we expected that. She used her pen to touch one of the parts and reacted, a silhouette of a human in bright golden energy briefly appeared. Dr. Halsey. Lasky called out, Majestic and Sarah moving in to secure the area. Roland, freeze all images. Catherine ordered, Roland complied and did so as ordered. Pictures? DeMarco said. The doctor shook her head, not pictures, memories. Memories of your ancestors, the composer was not just a weapon, we finally realized it. A voice came in from the door, walking in was Naruto. Didact, what do you mean? Catherine asked. I believe the composer was designed to absorb the essence of a living body and turning them into ancillas, or AIs in your case. In other words, had I not arrived on Earth in time, your city of New Phoenix would have its population completely absorbed into the composer and be brought back here into Requiem for conscription. My God, Sarah placed her hand on her mouth in a gasp. Naruto approached one of the pictures, this is a memory of Installation 10, a halo ring that used by the librarian to hopefully repopulate your kind after the war. Sadly the Didact used all hundreds of thousands of them for his private army. What war Didact? Catherine asked. Before the Forerunner Flood War that led to our demise, there was another before it. The Human Forerunner War, because of a misunderstanding caused by the flood, your ancestors began cleansing worlds, including the Forerunners, to hopefully stop the infection. The ship I am using right now, the Ascension, was one such ship used. But alas, we were too late to realize. Didact, a warrior servant came in, Lady Shion has arrived. Dilaim Dama. Jack approached the shipmaster, a Forerunner ship has appeared over Requiem. The same ship class as the Didacts. Show me, July ordered, a hologram appeared to see a ship the same class as the Mantles approach. A god has arrived. That's Lady Shion's ship. Glassman called out suddenly, causing the two Tsunade to look at him, Lady Shion is the wife of the Novi Didact, the new Didact. Another Didact. July gasped, this is a glorious day. He turned to Glassman once more, tell me more. He spoke slowly in English, ordering him to. The new Didact, they look human, but they aren't, they call themselves the Preservers, they told us that his father the ISO Didact somehow created a new race entirely. In turn they are the result of that, inside that ship are 500,000 living Forerunner soldiers at their command. Forerunners? More of them. Muster the fleet, we are to meet the Great Ones. He ordered Jack, many of them cheered and did so eagerly. They are going to have a fateful encounter. Requiem was once again a battlefield between the forces of the Covenant Remnant. July Dama refused to believe the Novi Didact, because of it his own forces were split into two. Fighting amongst each other. As they fought, the UNSC ground forces and their Forerunner allies secured the Librarian's shrine, as well as securing the Janus Key. In space, the Covenant allied with Naruto fought amongst their former brethren, surrounding the Furies' Ascent in a defense formation. July Dama was enraged by all of this, calling the Didact a fake. Naruto argued that they are not gods, only people like any other. The Covenant Remnant under July Dama's command were fighting a losing battle, but he refused to retreat. In his arrogance he believed that they could be defeated, but it was all for naught. He watched as his ship was torn to pieces by plasma fire from his former brethren. Naruto could only watch in sadness as people fought amongst themselves because of religion. Religion was supposed to bring people together, not separate. The Tsunade civil war ended thanks to Naruto's efforts. Tsunade was finally at peace. Back on Naruto's homeworld, the Akatsuki were hunted and defeated thanks to advanced weaponry of Demon Country. With their key leaders defeated, peace and stability had been brought to their nation. Konoha collapsed. They were in so much debt after the attack by Orochimaru and having to pay compensation for the mistreatment of the Uzumaki heir. Because of not being able to pay their salary on their shinobi, many of their own shinobi simply left, people fought in the streets for valuable possessions, chaos ensued when deaths begun to accumulate. The shinobi clans of Konoha made an exodus to Whirlpool, knowing they will prosper there. Danzo Shimura, the Hokage of Konoha and the head of his root forces, was furious. He blamed Naruto for everything that had happened. In a last-ditch effort and his arrogance, he led his root forces to Demon Country, hoping to defeat them, but was stopped by the advanced weaponry and training of the Forerunner Prometheans and warrior servants. They never even made it to country borders. Demon Country simply sent a single ship to thwart their attack. Danzo and his root shinobi were completely incinerated in a matter of seconds. After everything, Naruto and Shion returned to their homeworld to be with the rest of their family. They watched with pride as Hikari grew up into a beautiful young woman and a brilliant military commander. She was ready for her next adventure, she was given command of the Ascension, they found a precursor gateway leading them into a new galaxy. What new people will they meet, what new conflict will they encounter? Hikari just smiled, wearing the combat skin similar to her mother's, she crossed her arms, waiting in anticipation. She then remembered what her father told her before she left. Every journey begins with a single step. My name is Hikari Uzumaki Namikaze, my forerunner name is Light of Eternal Song. I am the captain of the Redeemer-class battleship Ascension, as I write this book and head to a new galaxy filled with unknown species of aliens through the Precursor Gateway. I hope that I get to meet new friends and new places. I cannot wait to see what lies ahead. Mom, Dad, don't worry about me too much, I have guarding light with me, we just arrived at the new galaxy and the Precursor Gateway on the other side is functional. Thanks to our equipment, we can keep the gate open and communicate whenever we want. This is so exciting, we are about to meet alien races that precursors have seeded. This is Hikari signing off. Alright, let's do this, Databane. What if Naruto was sent to the Halo universe? End here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.